Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon as we are live from Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue, where they're getting you geared up for game day. Come on by here and use the promo code HOGS20 here over the next 2 or so hours while we're live here at Alumni Hall. You get 20% off your purchase. But, fellas, it's good to see you. It's been a very uneventful morning and not a problem at all. But here we are once again in Alumni Hall getting everybody geared up for game day.
It's incredible how much has happened really in the last hour and a half. It's unbelievable. But here we are. Nobody would ever know because this is a well-oiled operation. I'm excited to be back out here. I love coming out to Alumni Hall. And yeah, it does hit a little bit different the day before a game. There's a bunch of people walking around in here. They got some new stuff in here. It's always perfect for the vibes going into a game. And then also, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, intern Cameron is in the building, so you know it's a big deal anytime intern Cameron's here.
Yeah, they did not want us to do the show here today.
That's right.
They did not want us to have audio during the show. And they also did not want Curtis to even be here because they wanted Curtis to waste his day at the hospital doing boring stuff. None of that came to fruition, though, because we are here. We're fast. We're strong. I'm impressed with John. He hit play on the intro, and he said, I'll be ready by the time it starts. And the entire time the intro was playing, I was like, there's no way he's going to be ready. There's no way. He's still got buttons to do and everything. I'm talking about mere milliseconds before the intro finished, he was ready to roll. That's a pro right there.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been in sports talk radio a long time, and if you only knew the amount of times that I had to judge in my bladder of how much I had to get rid of and time it out perfectly for the intro to start for the next break before we go live. You know, it's just a pro move. It's a pro move, but that's okay because we're here, we're live, everyone can hear us, everyone can see us, and we're feeling great. I got they call it the Razorback bib. They're overalls, I think, but it's a bib. These are very popular. You're repping Darren McFadden. You're repping Felix Jones. So they got all their new football gear in for the season, not only the jerseys and the bibs, but they also have their Nike gear, coach's sideline gear is what they like to say, for the official coach's apparel. So if you want some of those polo shirts and dry fit for Nike, they got all of those. They got the great, nice stuff in here, Southern Tide, Tommy Bahama, Johnny O, all those things. So, yeah, they're fully in stock here at Alumni Hall. And for those of you who are like, I don't know about the weather tomorrow, well, they're going to have you taken care of no matter the weather situation. That's for sure here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. People are already freaking out a little bit because I'm the only one in my assigned seat here. And you guys are flipped on the screen. People are like, wait a second, what's really going on? I understood the assignment. I understand if these guys didn't. I like to think that I'm repping the Jacaden Ferguson.
Yeah, it's true.
With an honorable mention to Cam Ball, So
yeah. I'm repping the greatest running back in Razorback history, Markeelan Bratton. Home
right.
from the Texarkana area.
Backup kickoff return?
He's going to be the guy that points to Rodney Hill and says, don't take it out. That's going to be his role this year.
Very important, actually.
We're very excited about it. But, yeah, I love these uniforms. I love being here. Yeah, I wish, seeing that coach's gear over there, I wish I were like the assistant run game coordinator on the defensive side of the ball. Assistant run prevention guy on the staff just so I could get all that merch. And I would be if I were on staff at Arkansas, you would never not see me in like the sweats, like the Nike Tech, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was it? You know how many different polos that Juice Box goes through? Probably on the sidelines.
Oh my God, unreal! Because he sweats through them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's either just sweat and determination. It just comes through like crazy. So, but if you're one of those types, they'll have plenty of polos for you as well. But again, we're going to tell you all about us being here at Alumni Hall. It's great to be here because, listen, we come here once a month, and it's always fun. And we try to be strategic in the days that we come here to make sure that, there's something going on. And we're going to be back here for the Notre Dame game, or the Friday before the Notre Dame game next month in September. But this just works out perfectly, guys. And, we talk about countdowns, talk about all that. But now it's game day eve. It's like we're having a football game tomorrow for the Razorbacks. And I know a lot of people are going to be in town. People are getting excited. We had some football last night, which we'll talk about. I'm sure we have some football tonight, but overall, there's no more. I mean, we'll talk about it today. We'll have our pregame show tomorrow. But besides that, there's no more talking. This is about the time that we get geared up and see what this team's really all about. And I'm just hoping that I'm just hopeful. I'm just hopeful that everything goes okay tomorrow. that there's not a post-game show where we're sitting here being like, well, I don't know about all that. Like, we'll see. I'm hoping that it's like the UAPB game last year where you just take care of it, you move on. They shorten the game because everyone wants to go home early, and you have nothing to worry about. We just get ready for Arkansas State. That's what I'm hopeful for tomorrow, and that's what it should be tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm hoping for the same thing. I hope it does not go like that video game simulation last night, which was wild behavior. Although, you guys see Jacksonville State really put a scare into UCF down there, like legitimately in a real game. So maybe they are a little bit better than we gave them credit for on the game. But no, I feel the same way, man. It should be a dominant performance from the Razorbacks. That's what you hope to see. But I will caution people just a little bit against the expectations of doing exactly what you did against UAPB. That's about as thoroughly as you can possibly dominate somebody. Like, I don't remember Arkansas ever having a better opener than that. I'm sure maybe they did, but didn't they score on every single possession?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous what they did there. And, I think about some of the games that I watched last night. I watched the whole first half of Missouri and UCA before we started the stream, and I was frustrated for Mizzou fans while I was sitting there watching, because it was one of those deals where, like they had it under control. They were never threatened, but you were seeing some chinks in the armor on that offensive line, and like Henderson State transfers, getting into the backfield, getting sacks. You had an injury, real early in the game. It was things like that to where the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, gosh, man, they probably have some issues this year. Well, then they win the game 61-6 when it's all said and done. And I hope that Arkansas' 61-6 win tomorrow leaves us feeling like this is great. We learned some things about this team in terms of some guys who are going to be playmakers. They were efficient. There wasn't a bunch of penalties. There weren't turnovers. They get out of it injury-free, as opposed to how I felt watching Missouri, where I'm like, they got some big problems at left tackle. They got some other stuff that they really got to figure out, and now their depth is questionable because they took some injuries.
Yeah, you mentioned the UAPB game, and I think that's a great point to make because Alabama A&M beat UAPB by like 40 last year. So they will be a better test than UAPB, which again is not saying much. But I've seen a lot of people doing this thing where they're like, well, if Arkansas struggles tomorrow, that's not going to be a big deal because a lot of teams struggle week one. And they were like, well, South Carolina, they barely beat Old Dominion.
Yeah. Oregon got pushed by Idaho.
Oregon got pushed by, guys, FBS and FCS, there's a very huge distinction there. Like, I'm not saying that every FCS team is horrible. If you play North Dakota State or whatever week one, you're going to get a pretty good test. Who was it? Was it South Dakota that played Oklahoma State pretty well the week before last year? Yeah. And we kind of brushed that off as nothing. Turned out to be an indication that Oklahoma State sucked, that we overlooked. And so I think that a lot of people are going into this kind of being like, oh, well, if Arkansas struggles, it's not a big deal. I actually do want to push back firmly against that. I think it would be a huge red flag. You mentioned how Missouri had a 61-6 victory that at times looked a little bit shakier than it wound up being. I would even be okay with, I would definitely be okay with 61-6.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Even if there was a failed 2-point conversion that looked horrible in there. But I think it would actually be a little bit of a red flag, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think that we've seen with this Arkansas offense last year, they're can crushers. That's the one thing that even when they had their ups and downs, when they faced a bad defense, they feasted. And so I expect an Arkansas offense that has a lot of returning leadership, some experience. I expect them to be able to handle this pretty well, although it's obviously not a huge test.
Yeah, it's a matter of I just want to see all the things. You know what actually would make me feel good, not changing in the ways of the season or anything, but just all the stuff that we've been told by the coaches, by players in press conferences. If we actually got to see that in action and it was true, like seeing Mike Washington be that guy, okay, that's great. Or seeing the running backs, Taylor Green and that dynamic and his accuracy, all that look good. Like all the stuff that we've heard to be able to take that next step and to look good doing it. I want to see that. I want to see just stuff that way I can look back and be like, all right, we didn't get fed a bunch of crap. It wasn't just like, they were just giving us coach speak and everything. I'd like to see it. I'd like to actually see it in this game because let's be honest, guys. I know Arkansas State's not the best team ever, but this is exactly what this game should be. Is just you should just stuff your stats and just have all of the type of numbers that you need and get out of there healthy, which is very important as well. Can't afford any injuries, especially like on the D line or something like that. But
that's a fact.
Just do what you need to do, and then we're moving on to Arkansas State. And you do that. I think everybody feels good about it. I think everybody feels, Shane doesn't change their ideas, but like last night you mentioned the Missouri game or anything. If we see that the offensive line struggling and like they can't protect Talon, I'm going to feel awful. Like it's something as simple as that. I'm going to feel awful. I'm like this, nope, don't like that. Or if it's a situation where Talon is throwing horrible passes and getting almost picked off. I'm like, nope, don't like that. Like, there's just those little things to where I hope they don't happen, but if they do, golly, it's just going to make it miserable leading up to that next week for Arkansas State.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I honestly, I just feel supremely confident in the offense's ability to do their job in this game and for them to do their job a majority of the season. I think most of our questions, outside of a couple areas there, rest on the other side of the football. So even if it's against an inferior opponent, I would like to see some defensive back stonks in this game.
Yeah.
You know, can we get a pick or two? Can we get some PBUs? Can you lock it down? Hopefully that you can guard these guys man to man with your corners, because you can't do it against them. You can't do it against anybody. And can we get some of that for the defensive line too, in terms of this pass rush? Like, can we get a sack and a half from Quincy Rhodes? Maybe,
nice.
you know what I'm saying? Just something like that, just to give us just a little bit of a vision, a little look ahead at what may be to come. But yeah, if it's not going to be like it was on the video game last night, where the opposing quarterback he was back there like it was 7-on-7. He had all day, he was running around like crazy. But I do hope that Arkansas is able to make them uncomfortable. And frankly, they should be able to rack up some, like you said, stat padding kind of things there. I want to see it on defense even more than I want to see it on offense.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the offense, I think they could play 100 games against Alabama A&M. I think they would have a lot of success in 100 games against Alabama A&M. And frankly, a lot of even some, there's plenty of FBS defenses that are probably in the bottom tier that I think Arkansas could just impose their will time after time after time. We talk about like the line of scrimmage. That's one thing in a game like this when you're playing an inferior opponent. You want that to be viewed on the line of scrimmage. Like, we want to be able to look at the line of scrimmage and see, okay, yeah, you're moving these guys wherever you need to. And on the other side, can your D-line be disruptive? And I think it's kind of sucks going into a game like this for Arkansas, because they can do so much good, and we can still look there and nitpick and say, well, yeah, but they dropped that touchdown, and so like a better team probably we can do that. And then any type of red flag at all, we're going to cling to, and we're going to be like, oh, wow, if you did this against Alabama A&M, how are you not going to do that against Texas and against Auburn and against whoever? And so it is an unfair position, but I do think that it's worth noting that this is a unique opportunity, these games, because, like, for instance, KJ Jackson last year played in the opener. He did not play the rest of the season. Now, he was the third quarterback. They played three. They played Malachi Singleton a good bit. And Sam actually spoke about it on Monday, how important he thought that was for Malachi. Because Malachi wound up having to come into the Tennessee game, wound up having to come into the Ole Miss game, and he was prepared for those situations because he got some game experience, got some reps under his belt. And so I think a game like this, it's weird where there's not a ton of pressure, but I think there is some pressure to look good, to do it impressively, because you want to get those reps. Like, that is a luxury that you don't always get, especially with how some of these teams play in week one. I think it's important for Arkansas to do that, for things to go according to plan, for them to kind of impose their will, build that confidence for some of these guys. And, I spoke about it the other day that some of these receivers haven't made plays in games. CJ Brown has not caught a touchdown as a collegiate wide receiver. It might not seem like a big deal to us and maybe to the fan base if CJ Brown catches a 28-yard touchdown against UAPB, but for his confidence and what he's going to do moving forward, he's going to need some of that stuff. And so I think this is a good chance for Arkansas to buy some confidence for some of these positions that need it, like O-line, like D-line, like wide receiver, maybe even that secondary a little bit. And I think it's huge for them to get some reps for other guys, get out of here healthy, get out of here clean. You need this to be a business-like, goes by the schedule, goes how it's supposed to go tomorrow for Arkansas.
Yeah, and also, too, maybe I'm really overanalyzing, which could be the case, but, the fan base, by and large, contrary to what people think, is kind of hanging on a thread of like, all right, we're just you have come back here, Sam Pittman. You have another year, so we're waiting right here, and we want to see this happen. We want to see that you're the guy for the job. That it was a good thing for you to come back this season. So show us something, because the second that there is treachery afoot, the second that there is a little bit of wavering, people are going to jump. I mean, some people already have, and you can't help that. You can try to win them back, but it's a matter of you can't afford, you don't have any benefit of the doubt left. You can't afford to have any game, especially in this game right here, to just give fans a reason to say, all right, this ain't it. And even if you win the game, but you don't look good doing it, there's going to be some fans be like, yep, this is going to be bad. So again, I know there's a lot of games and there's a lot of opportunities to win, and then, you bring everybody back. But man, it's just for the fans' sake. Put on a show. Just put on a show. Give them something, even if it's against Alabama A&M. Just give them something to feel good about moving forward. Because the second they sense something Second that there's a problem, they're going to be off, and they're not going to come. And you won't get them back no matter what.
That's true, man. Yeah, we need really 2 weeks of warm and fuzzies here,
Mm-hmm.
and none of that drama, because then you'll pretty much, I think, have most everyone back on board going into that Ole Miss game. But I do think, to your point, John, this is exactly why so many people are doing a thing where they're like, well, the season hinges on the first 4 games because of the momentum one way or the other where it could swing, because you could feel great after 2 weeks, but everybody's going to be looking at that game at Ole Miss saying, all right, this is the first real test. This is where we're going to really start to learn something about this team. And for better or worse, in that game, it's going to be the same exact story the next week at Memphis. How do you respond to success when you're going on the road and facing a team that you theoretically should beat, or you just got punched in the mouth and now you got to go play this weird road game against a team that's receiving more votes than you in the AP poll or whatever, but that you should handle? How do you deal with that? I'm 100% on board with that. I think Arkansas, if they don't come out of this 4-week stretch 3-1 at worst, then that's where people are going to start being teetering a little bit. And like you said, the naysayers out there might be in a situation where they're looking for a reason to jump right back off the bandwagon if they got back on it before the start of the season.
Well, and how many times do we have these games where, like a play happens and we say, oh, man, if that happens week 3 against Ole Miss, you're in trouble. If you make a mistake like that against Memphis, you're in trouble. I think that's going to be a big theme that we hear in these first few games, because I agree with you guys. Like, I think you view it through that context. I know football coaches are wired to view it one day at a time, one game at a time. I'm sure Pittman and his staff are not sitting here saying, hey, guys, let's make sure we're ready for weeks 3 and 4. But I do think there's something valuable to that, of the fact that Arkansas has these 2 games as kind of a buffer. I view it as like, hey, if your mom leaves for the weekend and she's coming back on Sunday night and she's like, hey, by Sunday night, I need you to have done the dishes. I need you to have done the laundry. I need you to have cleaned the yard. I need you to clean your room, like wash the sheets or whatever. You can wait until Sunday at 3:50 p.m. or whatever. But it's like, I think it's important for you to kind of start knocking off some of these things so that you go into that Sunday against Ole Miss, you're ready to roll. Your defensive line has some confidence. You found some playmakers there, something you can threaten Ole Miss with. Your pass catchers, you've got that figured out. Your secondary, who's starting at corner. Arkansas doesn't have to have these answers figured out by week 1, because it's not going to matter week 1. It's probably not going to matter week 2. But I do think the longer you can go with having your unit, knowing who your guys are, like, I do not want to see Kobe Branham struggle week 1 or week 2, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, we're going into game 2, but we're actually going to move Shaq McCoy to right tackle and Marion Harris to right guard. Then, hey, maybe you figure out and it's great and you go into week 3. I would like for them to have all those reps. I would like for these defensive linemen, these guys like Charlie Collins, these guys like Quincy Rhodes, to get as many positive reps as they can in these first 2 weeks, so that they're going into that Ole Miss game knowing, hey, we can make plays. We're ready to go do it. We're ready to show it. We've shown it in week 1. We've showed it in week 2. Let's do it in week 3. I think this is a very big week for Arkansas to not procrastinate. Do not say, okay, it's not going to matter this week, so let's just be all right. I think it's going to be important for Arkansas to get some of these things taken care of week 1 and week 2.
We're live here at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. Stop by, use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. But if you can't make it in store, that's okay, because they'll ship it to you. And if you go online to InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall, you can also enter the promo code there and have it shipped directly to your door. But we're also brought to you by our friends, our new sponsor here, OZK Insurance. Let's talk insurance, Razorback fans, because nobody wants to deal with the hassle of shopping around. That's why we all recommend OZK Insurance. They're based right here in Arkansas. We know how big you Arkansans are on loyalty and being a hog. Well, they shop multiple carriers here in Arkansas to find the best coverage and price for you, whether it's home, auto, business, you name it, they do it. Whether it's Saturdays at Razorback Stadium or every day in life, you want protection that you can count on. So count on OZK Insurance and get a free online quote at ozkinsurance.com, or you can call 479-715-4200. That's 479-715-4200. It's OZK Insurance, protection made simple. So, it's fun because we've already done all of our predictions and everything, too. I think we're going to talked a little bit about the crowd, what that's going to look like. I think there'll be a pretty good showing for the most part, for the weather and that part of it, too. But, it's going to the thing of, what fans and their expectations are, and looking into it, this type of situation, too. It's like, do you guys do you think that it would ever value or help Arkansas if they started with a big matchup, which I know we talked about a few years ago, Auburn? I guess, was it 2014, over a decade ago, maybe? They opened up the season with Auburn. But you see these other teams open up against good opponents, Alabama, Florida State, or Georgia, Clemson, or LSU, Clemson, Georgia. Actually, Georgia's not playing anybody, I don't think. But Texas, Ohio State. But it doesn't have to be that big. But do you feel like there's any reason why Arkansas should ever do that and schedule that if they have a say in it for a big game in the opening?
I could see different philosophies here playing out. I thought it was awesome when Arkansas opened with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And it worked out perfectly to where they were coming off of that college football playoff deal, but you knew they weren't going to be as good as they were. But so it would maybe the win would look better than it actually was in the end. I like the idea of them doing something like that. I like the idea of it being on campus, even if that means sometimes you got to go on the road and play somebody pretty decent. The flip side is you're going to get some of these games at home as well. I'm not as crazy about the early season, like neutral site type of things in football as I am in basketball. For whatever reason, it's just a thing for me. But no, I don't mind that because now you've only got 3 games that you're going to be able to schedule outside of the SEC. And so to me, it's like, okay, you can either kind of stagger it where it's like, all right, we're going to play our FCS opponent first. We're going to get it out of the way. People are going to be excited to see the football team anyway. It's not so much about the opponent. And then maybe you level up just a little bit and you play, like a scrappier group of 5 or whatever. Then you play your P4 opponent, and then it's been a natural buildup to get you into SEC play. The flip side of that is maybe you test yourself right out of the gate and you're kind of hedging on, okay, yeah, we've got some stuff to work about. We're not entirely sure who we are just yet, but neither are they. And maybe we can catch them before they figure it out. And then you have 2, let's clean it up, tune it up kind of games before you get into the league. So I think there are a couple different ways you can go about it. Scheduling is a science, more so in basketball, but I think there's something to that in football. But from a fan's perspective, I think for the most part, they just want to see the coolest games possible as quickly as they can.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. There's 2 ways you can look at it. For one, we're going into Saturday. We do not have to wake up on Saturday morning and wonder if Arkansas is going to be 1-0. We know, and I've been messing with my buddies at LSU. They got to wake up on Saturday and have no clue if they're going to win. In fact, they're very worried they're going to lose, and they probably will. I think there's it's cool to go into that and not have any stress. I love that from a fan standpoint. But to your point, Curtis, I think Hog fans do want to see Arkansas on the biggest stage as possible, and they should. What's so funny is we've heard this argument for Little Rock and Arlington. We've heard, well, it's going to help for recruiting. It's going to showcase the Razorback to other parts of the state, and it's going to show them. What actually does that? When you play in a big week 1 matchup, that's like for instance Sunday night. I can't remember who the Sunday night game is. Maybe that's Notre Dame, Miami. There's some big. They do on week 1 they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think there's a lot of value in that. I remember going. LSU played Miami to open the season in 20, I guess it's been in 18. This has been the year that Chad Morris was first Arkansas's coach. But they played on a Sunday night, and I went to that game in AT&T Stadium, and it was awesome. And I think there's something to that. Also, there's not many games on. Obviously, Saturday there will be 100, but being on that Thursday night and playing someone notable, everyone's watching that game. We all watched Nebraska Cincinnati last night because we just had
never
to.
Would.
Yeah. Exactly. And so it's I actually do think there is some value. Now, is it a program defining moment? Probably not. But I mean, there's a lot of high school kids who were sitting here watching football all weekend. They want to see those teams who are playing in those cool matchups, the ones that are on national TV. Nobody in the country is going to watch Arkansas play Saturday. There's something to that where, you're going to win. You're going to win impressively. You don't have any stress as a fan. It's good for you. It's good for your team to get that development, but nobody is watching it. And at the end of the day, you have 12 opportunities to get on that stage, to make a statement nationally. Arkansas does not have a chance Saturday to make a statement. And I'm okay with that because they get an automatic win. It's all fine and dandy. But I think if you're trying to move the needle of your program and really become more of a prominent national player, I think the next step of that is playing those neutral site. And, it doesn't have to be neutral site. You play Notre Dame. Everyone's going to be watching that, whether it's here, there, wherever. But I think that's just what the big boys are doing. That's what the cool kids are doing. They're playing in AT&T Stadium to start the year. They're playing in New Orleans to start the year. They're playing in the Peach Bowl to start the year. And they're playing big opponents. I think that's kind of something that everyone should want to be a part of. Now, maybe in Saturday it's a little bit over-flooded with some of those, but I think that would be cool to one day see Arkansas in those stances just because, again, that's just what the cool kids are doing.
Well, and I also think, too, and I could be wrong about this, but maybe I am. Maybe I'm the only one that feels this way. I think if Arkansas was playing Notre Dame to start the season, I'd feel better about it. As weird as it is.
I'm with you on that as well. If that were a week 1 matchup, I think that'd be cool.
It would be, and I don't know if that's because I feel like, that lets Notre Dame get warmed up for you in week 4 or whatever it is, or week 5, but I don't know. I just, if you were going into where both, as far as not talent, but as far as the even playing field, I hate that phrase, but the even playing field of mystery where you don't know at all. It's like you just feel better about, well, they could be bad. We don't know. But by week 5, we're kind of going to know which teams are good and which teams are bad.
Well, to your point, we're also going to watch Notre Dame play Miami this weekend, and we'll know right away.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, man, we could have beat them. Or they'll beat Miami 48-3, and we'll be like, whew, thank God I didn't play them this week. We'll see you week 5.
Yeah. So it could change there. But that's, I think, depending on the opponent, that's where I would feel like going into this season if you're Arkansas. And also, again, maybe it's just the way I feel, but Sam Pittman's teams always felt like they were always at their best at the beginning of the year instead of at the end of the year, or at least at a certain point in time. They play their best football at the beginning. Doesn't always mean that they're going to win, as we saw last year against Oklahoma State. But they played really well for a bit in that game. Just, not enough to make that happen. But listen, you're just going to play the games that are in front of you, and it's catch-22, because if Arkansas would have played Notre Dame start the year and they got smoked, they'd be like, man, we should just waited to play them week 5.
Yeah.
It's if you lose, it's always you want it the other direction.
Dude,
unfortunately,
one of the biggest swings of emotion I've ever had is from halftime of that Oklahoma State game to the time we walked out of that stadium to get ready to do the post game.
That was a lot going on.
The first half, I mean, we were sitting up there, Andrew, amongst there was a decent amount of Razorback fans around us actually, but it was just, we were like, man, this is total domination. Like, this Arkansas team is either really good or this Oklahoma State team really sucks. And
turns out one of those statements was very, very true.
Yeah, man.
You know what's funny, Curtis? So if y'all remember, the timing of when we walked out of that stadium was like towards the end of the third quarter. Even when we were leaving the stadium, I still was like, there's no way Arkansas loses this game. Up until overtime happened and they did lose it, I was like, oh, crap.
Mm-hmm.
They really are going to lose that game. When the muff punt happened, I started to get an inkling. But even then, I thought Arkansas was going to win. Yeah, we walked out of that little tiny, dainty stadium and we said, man, things changed in a hurry.
Yeah. Can I ask a horrible question to y'all?
Sure.
It's going to make everyone mad. What was the most confident in a game that Arkansas lost that they ended up losing between that Oklahoma State game last year or that Texas Tech basketball team this past year? Like, which one were you the most confident? Like, oh, Arkansas won this, but then they ended up not.
I was more confident in the football because I've seen Arkansas do we've got a double-digit lead and we're guaranteed to give it away thing.
Yeah.
Now, they stretched it out as far as they possibly could in that Texas Tech game. But, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I remember there being a moment in the first half in Arkansas. What was the halftime lead for Texas Tech?
Arkansas was up it got back down to single digits.
Yeah, like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I remember there being a moment in the first half where Carter Knox had like 20. And I was
crazy.
like, holy crap, Arkansas had a lot of things go well from them in this half. And they're like, in a good spot. But I was like, not as good of a spot as you probably should be. And so I was kind of like worried about it. I didn't think they were going to lose. Oklahoma State at halftime of that game, there was not even a thought in my brain about whether or not Arkansas could win that game.
Well, and also, too, it's, again, always hindsight. If we knew what we did after the season, like if we knew Oklahoma State was going to be a team that's going to go 0-9 in the Big 12, I would have been like, oh, yeah, Arkansas's won this one. This team sucks.
Yeah.
But at the time, we were told that they could be a playoff team, at that point in time.
Yeah,
man.
Big 12 champs incoming.
Yeah, I mean, we were told that.
It's about the facts.
It's about the facts. It's about the facts. Well, it wasn't the facts then because, that ended up being – and that's another thing when people bring up, like, schedule and non-conference. I'm like, yeah, you can't complain about last year. Yeah. All right? Like, I mean –
Well, that's, by the way, since we were talking about playing these marquee games, that would actually classify as one of those. It was week 2. You got to take advantage of these opportunities.
Yes.
Like, if Arkansas had gone out there and completed the ass whipping there, that would have been notable. It wouldn't have been as big as Texas, but, like, I remember people nationally tweeting about Arkansas in that first half. Yeah. They're like, whoa, Arkansas looks good. Like, I think Arkansas just cannot be missing opportunities like that.
Could you say one would be marveling at the job that Arkansas was doing?
People were marveling in that first half, for sure.
And they did something else afterwards. Yeah, that's for sure.
I had a couple tweets that didn't age well. I got dunked on Twitter that day for sure.
Yeah, well, we've all been there. But again, folks, we're live at Alumni Hall, and want to remind everybody that brought to you by our friends over at Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. And yes, they do Halloween lights too. We get it because it gets said every single time. But they are going to help you out when it comes to making your Halloween and or your Christmas looking awesome when it comes to your house. You get to choose the lighting. In fact, after you come here to Alumni Hall, make sure you get those red lights out there for the Razorbacks. I'm sure they have the official Cardinal red, the Patone 201 or whatever in their Christmas lighting. But, even if they don't, they'll make it happen for you because they're the pros. They're the ones that set it up for you completely. They provide all the materials, any color, any pattern, and they install them themselves. And you also get free maintenance throughout the season. So if you're in the Northwest Arkansas or River Valley area, give our guy Brett a text at 479-459-1380, and he's going to get you a free estimate on your house. It's 479-459-1380. And if you sign up for Halloween lights, you also get your Christmas lights for 50% off. So you can't get a better deal than that. Check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com or like them on Facebook by scanning the QR code on your screen. It is Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. Again, we're live at Alumni Hall here, 3417 North College Avenue. A few of your chats we'll get to because we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. I did want to bring this up. This was just a funny deal with, I'm not going to mention which company, but Harris is like, hey, is Alumni Hall like some other generic place? And, of course, WooMF Pig says better.
Exactly.
Which is true. Yeah, it's 100% true. And then I'm not going to read the curse word that Ari said, but he said, oh, man, well, this one particular place is the only place that we have here in Central Arkansas, so I'm definitely going to have to make a trip to Alumni Hall. Yes, you are.
Also, Harris, you can order online.
It's true. It's a thing.
And still get 20% off, still get all the cool stuff. But, yeah, next time you're in Fayetteville for a game, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, mandatory. Stop by Alumni Hall.
Absolutely. In fact, Josh Miller, one of our chats, says, I'll be at Alumni Hall the Friday before the Notre Dame game.
There we go.
And he used to work at Golf USA across the street. Well,
nice.
See you there, Josh.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Get you some kava, get you some dog food, and hop on over, man.
Have you done kava before?
I've gone to kava, but I don't think I've eaten there. I'm not into like I eat like real food, not dog food.
No, it's like a Qdoba or Chipotle, just
they were
a little more Greekish.
I like it better. It's better than Chipotle. I'll tell you that. Just based on my no experience there, I've just seen it. It's better than Chipotle.
The fine workers here at Alumni Hall said that it's pretty good.
I like it.
Everybody loves kava.
Yeah, they're giving up. Also, Evan said that you guys were worried John was going to drive off a bridge after the OK State game. Well, why would you guys get that idea?
Well, and John, I don't know if you remember this or not, but the way it went down, we had the whole deal at Eskimo Joe's.
Yeah, which was so fun.
Which was a mess. But then we wound up doing the post-game show, and then I know you had to do some stuff with THV, and then you were going to upload the post-game. And me and Andrew went back to the stadium. We recorded the accountability session. While we were doing it, we were doing the whole bit of like, we're stuck in Stillwater. Like John left us here. We don't know where he's at. We don't know what's going on. And it's alarming how many people believed that when we published it.
They were like, "Wow, did you ever find him?"
Yeah. Hopefully, a Razorback fan gave you a ride home or whatever."
Is John still missing?
People were worried about John Neighbors.
God, yeah, they're probably like, "Yeah, classic John, just leaving everybody high and dry," because he's all upset.
Meanwhile, we were just at Eskimo Joe's with everybody else.
Yeah, just hanging out and being sad. That's tough. But that won't happen this year though at all. It won't happen. Shout to Finch says, "Oh wow, Alumni Hall moved to Hatwall." Yes, they did. So we're on this side over this direction. So I feel like every time I come in here, because they have so much stuff that they have to rearrange everything to make it all fit.
They seem like they're big on feng shui in here. They got to move some stuff around to get the vibes right. That's what they'll do. So.
That's right. And they also, I feel bad every time because it looks so pretty when we walk in here, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to move all your stuff so you can set up here in the middle of the store so everyone can see us and make sure that we're seen.
So much better. Remember the first show we did? We were just like tucked over there, and we just felt very much in everybody's way. And this is a cool.
I remember that one time we were here and it was inventory day, and they were running this shit like the Navy, bro. They were like barking orders, like, hey. Where are those hats?
Getting after it.
And
I mean, there's a lot. There's just a lot of stuff. Like it almost stresses me out looking around. And I'm like, there's a lot.
The last time we were here, it was like social media day, and so people kept walking out from the back. The employees here, and they were wearing something different. They were all in these at one point, and then they were all in the jerseys. They were taking a bunch of pictures. We're just going on about our business. So
like I said, nowadays it's they siphon off. As I remember the former manager used to be here. She's like, "Oh, we'll siphon off just because we don't want people coming up to you and bothering you." I'm like, we're not the like Hollywood stars that were just like, hey, we're just trying to be over here doing a show. We don't want to see people that like us.
We did get a rap song made after us, but
that popped off. By the way,
we get an occasional fist bump here and there.
Yeah. Cool. Our guy Whitty was here earlier. Gave Curtis a swag bag for the little fella that's going to be here
right there, man. Appreciate Whitty. He was giving me some good fatherly advice for somebody who's getting ready to have a son.
Yeah,
had his little tykes around there with him.
Dropped off some Boudreaux's butt paste for Curtis.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
No, I mean,
is that really what it's called?
Grab it.
Boudreaux's butt paste. So it's legit stuff.
What is this?
This is the highlight of an A++ bag
that you put on.
Me.
Oh,
it's anti-chafing.
Well, it's not the full severe, just a little bit, in the between the severe and moderate. Yeah. It's was it the code orange instead of code red there? Okay, well now
apparently Andrew has a friend who uses it.
Shout out to Chance Hare, great guy. He when we were playing baseball in high school, really had an issue with irritation in certain areas of his body, and so between ABs, he would literally hit a home run, come back to the dugout, pull the pants down, and apply the paste. Yeah,
man, it's just I'm learning so much from that. Thanks, Whitty, for causing that topic of discussion.
Whitty's man.
It's important.
Good
it's important. Let's see. Also, Hayden says, "Look at these handsome MFs. Let's go." Hey, thanks.
Go. Yeah.
Thanks,
Needed
Hayden.
that.
Yeah,
Needed that. Thank you.
We're not going to pay you for it, but that also new YouTube member.
So Chris. I was seeing this. Chris was having trouble. I don't know. I think he may have gotten one of those memberships that someone gifted that like only is good for a while. He said he had to update his payment method. So I don't know. It's the end of the month for everyone, man. You know, there's no shame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen. It's so funny because there's been we've gotten some crazy gifts. Like I'm just gonna be honest. There's some hats that I got that are really nice Razorback hats. I don't know who they came from, but they just showed up in my mail, and it makes me worried sometimes. But we always appreciate the nice gestures by all of our fans.
I don't think anybody's giving you an Anthrax hat or anything.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just why you know where I live.
Well,
that's my
that's
like,
fair.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It's like, if you're going to give me a hat, I don't think anyone hates me that much. But it's just one of those like, why do you know where I live?
We've run into that a little bit because and we really do appreciate everybody who,
of course, we
found our registry and would send us something for the baby or whatever. And we're like, oh man, it's really nice. And usually I'll shout them out on Pot at the Palace or shoot a DM or whatever. But we like to do the personal touch. Like Michelle will put together little thank you cards and everything. She's like, oh yeah, but our address is going to be on it. I'm like, listen. If somebody who listens to our show just comes and kidnaps me or something, it was just meant to be. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
We're in the public eye all the time.
If I'm going to go, it's going to be that way. Like if I just go missing, just know that somebody from Twitter killed me.
Do we think that people there's like a kidnapper out there who is just waiting for the address? You know what I mean? Like if having the address is the only thing stopping someone from kidnapping you, then I feel like they're just not that great of a kidnapper. It's like if you needed it to be just announced, and it's like, oh, now I'm going to kidnap John Neighbors. Now I'm going to vandalize it.
It's going to be an escapable situation.
Yes,
with any of our listeners.
Yeah. Don't worry, folks. We still talk Razorback sports too, but we also throw kidnapping in.
I dare you guys. There's no way you can kidnap us. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's right.
Try me.
Yeah, that's right. But yes, we are still here at Alumni Hall. Oh, shout out to Whitty. Gave us a super chat too. He says, "You're welcome, John. Got my sick Bombastic hat too." That's right. You did purchase a Bombastic. Yeah, got the red one. So but it's good seeing you. Good seeing you, Whitty. Also to Nep wants to say, wanting to get a baseball jersey. Do I go with cream, white, pinstripe, or red? I'm torn. I'm just saying the one I got on is probably my favorite, but it's just the white. But that's just my personal opinion.
I was going to offer pinstripe. That's what I was wearing yesterday on the show.
Yeah,
love my pinstripe.
Okay, can't go right with any.
So if you want to match with me, pinstripe, I'll see you a bomb.
You probably need to match the baseball guy.
Okay, I'm bringing this up now.
What's up?
Because Finch keeps changing the date here. I have no DMs from Finch. I sit there with Michelle and looked. I went through it all. You know how you have like the hidden ones too?
Yeah.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there for me to reply to. So.
Oh gosh. Yeah. It's always about the percent. Everyone's got their own truth. It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Good grief, SCT.
Unless he's not Finch.
Yes.
On X.
Yeah. Now that would be a weird.
That could be a possibility. Yeah. Actually,
that could happen. SCT says, "I'm going to kidnap John and make him gritty on live stream for his freedom." Man, y'all need to stop this stuff. Okay, yeah. If I ever gritty on the air for not $500 super chats, and I've been kidnapped.
Well, I was going to say, is $500 a good enough ransom? Because that's pretty much
it's probably all I'm worth at the best. Let's be honest. But either way. Again, we're here at Alumni Hall. We're having a great time though. They got everything in stock. Everything's brand new, folks. They got plenty of it. The traffic's picked up.
Yeah.
People are coming in, getting ready for the game. Which again, I was talking to people here at Alumni Hall where it's just weird that a game tomorrow is like not going to be miserably hot. So it's like some people are like, we may need to have a little shacket. I think is what they call something like that. The quarter zip the coaches wear over there, something like that.
Good looks.
Yeah, can't go wrong with it, but. So you got to check those out. But if you're still feeling crazy, they still got your Hawaiian shirts and all that. So they got everything for everybody pretty much here as well. Let's see, man, you guys got to stop. William F. Peg, I'm not taking my undershirt off. We're in a place of business. Like nobody needs that, and I'm trying to help them make money, not lose money by people running out of the store.
I need to know if William F. Pig was too hungover this morning to watch Pot at the Palace. That's
May
what
have
I
been.
need to know.
May have been a bender. A couple, maybe a week.
It was trending towards not able to watch it.
No, yeah, it's probably where it was
I
at.
just can't do it,
man. Let's see. Hickory Hawk says they did beat, talking about Arkansas, UAPB 70-0 last year. But there were also wide receivers running wide open through the Razorback secondary. Even if the opponent isn't equipped to execute your weakness, they can expose them.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a good point.
Yeah,
that's fair.
They had that one touchdown called back. You remember? They beat
the
Arkansas
crazy
deep.
play.
Yeah, it was a crazy play.
Wasn't it Jaden Johnson that got?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. And then I'm sure that quarterback never. I don't know if they completed a pass further than like 10 yards. But I think that's also an important thing to note is that this really is your stat padding time, because as bad as Arkansas's secondary was and as bad as their pass defense was near the bottom of the country, they only gave up like 38 passing yards against UAPB. So it's like if you are weak in one area, or you really think you have a chance to be near the top of the country in one area, we kind of need to see that happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Also, Samuel says, what % chance do y'all give Arkansas State upsetting Arkansas in week 2? I think it's bigger than some people think. They should dog walk them, but I don't think it'll happen. Well, I feel like we'll probably have a better idea of that after Saturday.
Yeah, I'd like to see Arkansas State play. I'd also like to see Arkansas play, I guess.
It's a non-zero chance.
Definitely non-zero.
I mean, but I saw some people, and then you're just being facetious or whatever. Some people are like, listen, Arkansas State's got a 60% chance getting this done. No, they don't.
Yeah.
I can be talked into 10.
Yeah,
I can be talked into 10%.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. What's more likely? We'll play a little BetSaracen. What's more likely? What's more likely, that Arkansas goes 0 in the SEC or they lose to Arkansas State?
I think it's more likely that they
lose to Arkansas State.
Really? Go 0? Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's 8 games.
Yeah, and I mean, Mississippi State's
you get Mississippi State at home, but it's close.
I got to be honest, though. I'm kind of bullish on Mississippi State. I'm betting on them Saturday against Southern Miss. They're 13.5-point favorites.
Are we going to talk about this today, by the way?
I don't know, but I think they're going to absolutely dog walk Southern Miss. I think Mississippi State's not going to be good by any stretch of the imagination. I think Mississippi State's going to be pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think we've talked about it. I know I talked about my Locked On, but it's like there's 10 teams on Arkansas' schedule this year that's looking at Arkansas as a win.
Yeah.
There's 10 of them.
True.
Like Memphis is looking at you as a win. Mississippi State's, even if they're not saying, we're for sure going to win, they're like, well, if we are going to win an SEC game, that's the best chance we have. So it's like, you're going to be dealing with that all year long. Not many teams can say that, but literally 10 teams on your schedule look at you, and when their media's done predictions, when they've gone through it all, they're like, Arkansas is probably a win, or this should be a win. And, I don't think Arkansas is very good. All of that. So, other than Arkansas State and Alabama A&M, but of course, who knows? Maybe there's people over there in Jay Boogie that's saying, hey, yeah, Arkansas, we're going to have the home field advantage there.
There definitely are some people that have that mentality.
And doesn't Arkansas State get Iowa State at home the next week, which is crazy.
That is actually insane.
It's wild.
Should have done what Miami did that one time when they were supposed to play in Jonesboro. It's like, the hurricane from 2 weeks ago, we couldn't play.
We're not used to this. We got to leave.
Obviously, if you're going to lose a game like that, something has to go wrong. So there's always things that can go wrong. I just think Arkansas's offense is going to be a little bit too good to lose. Like, they would have to give up like 40 plus, I feel like, to lose.
Yeah, like turnover city kind of deal. And get burned on a special teams fake or something. It would take that kind of stuff for it to happen.
Again, folks, we're live at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. Come on by. Hogs by 20. Get you 20% off your purchase. And they got some nice stuff in here, too. Again, a lot of you fellas out there, you like the high-end things. You may go to other places. Well, you're like, I don't want this stuff. This isn't the high-end. Well, the high-end's here. The high-end quality stuff is here. So they got it all. Tommy Bahama, Southern Tide, Johnny O. Get you all ready and geared up for the weekend. Again, if you're not able to be in town, go online, InsideArkansas.com. Use that promo code HOGSBY20 and get 20% off your purchase. Sharkensaw says, who gets the sack party started tomorrow?
Quincy Rhodes.
Like
not Cam Ball.
Steven.
Yeah, it might be
Keyshawn Blackstock. Keyshawn, I don't know. That would be funny though if Keyshawn Blackstock got the first sack of the year. Like, be like, hey, he's not giving them up anymore. He's taking them.
My official prediction is going to be Larry Worth.
Okay.
I think they're going to send him.
Okay.
I think that would be the funniest thing is if Arkansas had 4 sacks tomorrow and none of them were from D-line.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
And he got like a random one from, just like Caleb Wooden. Just like, oh yeah, I just sent the safeties on a blitz and be like, oh, really him?
Shakur Smalls.
Yeah.
That's what I was in the second and the twos of the
Keyshawn Davila, all 160 pounds of him.
Y'all aren't down for any ball sack?
He's probably good. This is his opportunity. How many did he have last year? 1.5?
1.5, I believe.
Oh.
He's got 3 and 4 years so far.
You could sign me up for a cam ball sack.
Okay.
I hate y'all. Let's see. We got also Hayden. No, I'm not reading that yet. Let's see. Count says, are we supposed to be pissed if we only win by like 28 tomorrow?
Yes.
And are we calling for Sam Pittman's job if we only win by 1 to 2 possessions?
No.
Well, here's the thing. If you win tomorrow, Sam Pittman's not getting fired no matter what.
Right.
So just you can sit there and say, oh, now you can be mad. Everybody should be mad. But, saying like Pittman should be fired before he walks off, that's 0% chance it happens. However, if he does lose tomorrow, then yes, he needs to be fired immediately.
Fired on the field if they lose tomorrow.
Yeah,
fired on the field. I think there's a way, and to your point, I think there's a way for writing to be on the wall tomorrow. Like, I think if Arkansas comes out and it's like 28-20, and they really just slug their way through this game, you don't fire Pittman on the spot, but that would be very clear. The writing is on the wall. This team's going to suck, and this is all going downhill. Everything that the national guys have been saying about, him just counting down the days to retirement is true. And I think, the way the game plays out matters, because I'm going to be honest with you, there's been 2 4-8 teams in the last decade who have won very convincingly opening weekend, and we all left that game knowing they sucked. And that was the Western Carolina game in 2023, and that was the Florida A&M game in 2017 when Austin Allen threw for like 112 yards, and Chase Hayden, we thought he was a star because he had like 24 carries for 102 yards, and like I think they averaged like 4 yards a carry. It was like there were red flags that popped up, but the final scores of those games were 49-7 and 56-13. So if Arkansas only wins by 28, maybe, but if it's like they score 55 and then late in the game, Alabama A&M scores against the twos and gets to 27 or whatever, maybe that won't constitute being pissed, but 1 to 2 possessions, you should be absolutely livid. I mean, the spread is over 40 points.
Yeah.
So if you don't win by more than 30, I think it's fair to be like, wow, that was a disappointing performance.
The question about if they win by 28, are you going to be pissed? Yes. If they win 42-14, I'm going to be a little bit like, I'm not going to make a huge deal about it or anything like that. But yeah, I'll probably be a little underwhelmed, because if that happens, there will have been some things that we see there that are somewhat concerning.
Yes. And also, too, what that would mean if it ends up being that close, well, not as close maybe as what you're saying, but like if it's just a couple of possessions, that means we didn't get to see any backups. We didn't get to see any backups play.
True.
Like,
that would be tough. If KJ Jackson doesn't play in this game, that is a disaster.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because if it's 42-0 at halftime, and then it's the second and third stringers, and you wind up winning 45-14 or something, whatever.
You remember that happening against UAPB in 2021, where they brought in Malik Hornsby and he didn't score in the second half or whatever. So the game ended up being like 49-7, but it was 49-0 at halftime. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly right. We'll get to more of your chats as we're live from Alumni Hall, but want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the grand opening of one of our new sponsors here at Inside Arkansas, Goat Lab Red. I heard of the Goat Lab Brewery up in Lowell. Well, they got a new location that is opening up with their grand opening tomorrow. It's at the Oak Plaza on North Garland, starting at 10 a.m., and they're going to keep tailgating until the cows come home, or I guess in this case, the goats come home. But either way, they got the Razorback beer, Tusk Light beer, and now we can finally say this because our guy, Dudley Dawson, has now officially joined us here at Inside Arkansas. The Tusk Light beer was made specifically for Dudley Dawson. So you can call it the Dudley Dawson special if you wanted to when you get there. Actually, probably don't do that because they'll kick you out. But either way, they are the official sponsor of our Inside Arkansas recruiting podcast. And we really appreciate them. But yeah, check them out if you're going to be going to the game tomorrow. Again, right there in the Garland or the Oak Plaza on North Garland. They got signature burgers. And if you come back Sunday, all you can eat pancakes with a choice of 2 beers from Go Lab or 2 mimosas for just $16. I mean, that's living right. So whoever that guy is that's always hung over for Curtis's Pot at the Palace, that'll be the biggest cure. You listen to Pot at the Palace while you're eating a bunch of pancakes over there at Goat Lab. Yeah, that's all crazy there too. Well, let me finish the read real quick, and then we'll get into your announcements.
Finish the read.
Yeah, finish the read. See you Saturday at Goat Lab Red, your new game day tradition. Okay, Ellis, what's your announcement?
The love child of Andrew Hutchinson and Bryce Mitchell.
Stop.
Fair or no?
That's fair.
That's you know what? I know what's fair because I didn't even have to ask who you're talking about.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah. No,
We got to clip this and send it out.
Yeah.
I'll sneak a picture.
I was like, sneak a picture.
Yeah, golly.
I've never seen anything like that. That's crazy.
That is. I can't unsee it now. Like I just, it's done with.
If
It's
my
a
wife
50-50
is,
split too.
it
Like, I'm
is.
talking about like
Oh,
that's
it's
flawless.
crazy.
Yeah. So what instead of Thug Nasty, what would his name be if it was the Hutch Nasty?
Hutch. just
Hutch
tweet and say
Nasty.
Hutch Nasty.
Thugginson.
Oh, we love you, Hutch. Joffre says, will y'all still be at Alumni Hall tomorrow? Plan to stop by. We will not be. We would love to just live here at Alumni Hall and just chill all the time because it is an awesome place. But we will not be here tomorrow. But they will be. And they'll be open.
They will be open.
They will be open.
I'll tell you what,
come by.
while you drive over here in the morning, just make sure that you're subscribed to the Inside Arkansas YouTube channel and you got those notifications turned on. That way you can listen to our pregame show.
That's right.
Yes.
And after we wrap that up, I'm going to be watching ball the rest of the day until we do the postgame.
Yeah, it'll be like we're there with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, at least in the spirit of things, it'll be there. So, but let's see again, because we'll talk about some of the games last night and also look at some of the games going on this week because there are some really great games in college football, no matter what. But what I missed here, Curtis? Which one?
I was going to have you pull that one up right there.
From old Mr. Emmett?
Yeah.
Emmett Neal says, we didn't need to play Notre Dame in game 1, 50 new players. We need a few games to gel.
Is this Papa Neal?
Is it?
Like Julian Neal's?
Is this Julian Neal's?
Julian Neal's father?
Mr. Neal?
Well, hold on.
Like
if he's Emmett, well, I guess he could have another son.
That's true. Yeah, that is possible. Yeah, it is possible. Maybe so. Let us know, Mr. Emmett Neal Sr. And
because
if
the Julian Neal stock started right here. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that. And I was also champion for EJ to come join the Arkansas Razorbacks basketball program. But he's now playing for Eric Musselman. It's the other son. Which hey, that's fine.
Wait a minute. So this really is the Neal family.
I think it might. I think it might be. I don't know for sure, but I think it might be.
So I didn't realize there was a basketball Neal.
Yeah.
And he's a good player.
Not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, here in the chat, we'll find out here soon.
Yeah. We gotta see.
Listen,
Emmett J. Neal. Yeah, that's him.
All right. Well, there we go.
Guy. Hell yeah, man. Let's go.
Hey,
well, and listen, that's obviously like I'm not going to complain too much about the fact that Arkansas gets to 1.5 gimmies before they really got to play a real game.
Right.
I just worry that we're going to watch Notre Dame play on Saturday and they're going to look beatable as hell with the first year quarterback, and we'll be like, damn, we wish we had played him. Especially if Arkansas is like firing on all cylinders. Right. It won't be hard to do the mental gymnastics of being like, well, we beat Alabama A&M by 70 and they beat Miami by 3. So,
And then CJ Carr throws for 600 on Barry Odom and Purdue. And we're like, oh.
Yeah. That's what's tough about Notre Dame is that they could very well look horrible against Miami and then even look bad against A&M, but then kind of like kick it into gear by week 5.
See, this is what's going to happen. I'm already calling my shot. This weekend, again, we'll go over the games, but this weekend, every team that Arkansas plays on their schedule this year is going to look like crap, and Arkansas is going to dominate. I'm going to be like, just you guys see Ole Miss. Look very beatable to me. Texas, oh my gosh, it got smoked by Ohio State. They're not even. Come on, like what's going on here?
We could play this game a lot where we're like the Ole Miss team that showed up against Kentucky, Arkansas could have beat them. The Tennessee team that showed up against Arkansas, they did beat them. You could find a bad performance from LSU, a bad performance from whoever. You just got to get those breaks. You got to get them on the right week.
That's right. That's right. You got to have the ball bounce your way, as they say. But SCT says GOAT Lab, the lab they made Tom Brady in. Yes.
The glaze is unreal. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's
just unprompted Tom Brady glazing.
Come on, especially from SCT. Come on now. Hayden, I'll bring it up for you. He says, by my estimations, you need 5 gritty super chats to get the stadium name right.
I think that the price of the brick is going down by the day, man.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick because we haven't had a chance to. We've had a lot going on, but big deal, no big deal. What the stadium rights naming thing? Like to me, that is a fairly significant deal where it's been over a year. It'd be one thing if it just hit this summer and then it's like, a few months, but it's been over a year that this has been available and nothing. That's bad.
Would you have had to fire 18 people if you had that taken care of after a year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
because what was it? Was it $10 million a year roughly is what they were asking for? It was like a 10-year, $100 million contract, something like that.
Maybe so. And my thought process is, and I know there's been, I think Christina Long's done a really good job reporting on all that, but at some point, you're a year afterwards, like maybe Maybe
I
mix
was
it up
just
a little
about
bit.
to
Maybe
say-
the asking price goes down a little bit. I don't
was
know.
gonna say, how long is it going to be before they tell Whole Hog to stop writing stories? We're like, okay, I know we made y'all write these stories, but like, enough. Just don't stop talking about it.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty blown away that that's not done yet. There's got to be interest. I know there's interest.
There has to be.
100%, yeah.
And so I don't know if they're just not getting to the number they thought they were going to, or what exactly that looks like. But yeah, it would certainly behoove them to get it figured out real quick, and we might as well throw a bid in.
Yeah.
Just
do it.
Get the ball rolling a little bit.
Dude, let's just do a live auction next to Frank Broyles' statue and just be like, all right, anybody that's interested,
Pull up.
Yeah, pull up. But you know what? Honestly, you know what's crazy? If they did that and they set it up to where it's like, we're going to do this to the highest bidder, and you get to keep the naming rights on the stadium until somebody actually comes in and wants to buy the full thing, and then it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would actually be pretty fun. Like, say if someone, it wouldn't be us, but say if they're like, hey, I'll do it for $1 million. And then they won, and they get their name up there, and it just stays up there until someone actually ends up buying it. Like, hey, listen, more money's more money. But all I know is if I'm Donald W. Reynolds, I'm like, just sitting back, relaxing. Like, hey, man, I'm getting free advertising for it.
Like Hog Slab here, he says on the buzz this morning, Frank Fletcher said the return on investment on it wasn't worth the expense.
Well, then that's when you negotiate down and say, okay, so instead of, so it's $7 million a year, like surely there's been some negotiating and
I think in most cases, and obviously, yeah, like just having the naming rights there theoretically would be huge for your brand, but to be in the position to even be able to get that, you're probably not too worried. Like your brand's already established. You know what I mean?
It's a different level of wealth.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think you're going into it saying, okay, we're going to get our name put on this stadium and that's going to generate all this new business for it. It's almost like because we have all this business, we can have our name put on this stadium.
Point, yeah.
And then it's going to be synonymous with the field.
Whoever is buying the naming rights is not worried about ROI.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No. But I'm just.
Frank Fletcher knows more than me, but that's just my thought
for
on
sure.
it.
Right, and I'm just going to say this too. Frank Broyles, man, he always had somebody's name on that thing.
Yeah.
Like when they did the expansion in 2001, they did the expansion because Donald W. was like, here you go. And that was part of the deal is you fund the expansion, you get your name on it. Bud Walton's still Bud Walton. That thing, because all it took was Frank going to Bud and be like, no one needs a new arena. We want a new arena. What you got? Here you go. Boom. That was done.
Frank Broyles could sell water to a speedboat.
Yeah, he could to catch up to a woman in white gloves, catch a popsicle. Yeah, he could do it all. But just saying, it's alarming. Just like everything else when it comes to the finances. But like you said, Curtis, if you had that extra $10 million for the year, assuming that it's like 10, 10, 10 rest of the time, that's half of your revenue share that you're so worried about doing. Like, there's got to be something there. Like, or is it maybe one of those things where they're like, we're not accepting a dime less, so we're just going to sit here and wait?
If I'm a business thinking about ROI, then I'm advertising with Inside Arkansas.
That's right.
I'm not trying to get my name on Razorback Stadium.
That's true.
So.
I mean, look at all these people right here in Alumni Hall. Every one of them came to see us. They didn't even know what this place was. So, hey, listen, we got this guy. He just pointed at me, so that means he came here because of us.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
see,
go.
look at that. Look at that. So, just saying, yeah, if you want the ROI, Inside Arkansas, we put butts in the business. Is what they say. Yeah.
So if you want to sell some cars, Frank Fletcher,
Frank,
hit us up.
Yeah.
But I also love the premise that we're all just sitting around here being like, why don't these people just give Arkansas $10 million every year?
Yeah,
like,
what's the problem?
What's the holdup?
Yeah, there's something wrong there, man. Let's see a few other chats here too, because again, that was a good. I forgot who brought it up, but that was a good point. I sure got the picture of the guy who made it to where it said Inside Arkansas Razorback Stadium.
Yeah.
That was good.
That would make sense, because of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, you know what I didn't like? So I quote tweeted that guy immediately, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it spreads. We're one step closer." And then in the comments of my tweet, he was like, "Yeah, maybe then you can get inside the stadium with once they." And I'm like, "What the hell is that? Like, why are you gonna throw a shot at me?"
That's just what people do. Yeah, it's like you always think you're quote tweeting something who means something nice. He's like, "All right, now that you paid attention to me, I'm about to drill it."
Maybe it was a shot at them.
It was.
Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was probably in jest, but I was like, "Damn, what the hell, bro?"
We know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm gonna find that picture because that was pretty great. We've had some people putting some creative. I need to hire these people for between our guy Gibb making us our anthem and between people doing the Photoshop. It's like sometimes it's getting to the point, which I'm not saying, Gibb, you did this, but man, it always makes me think, is people just getting on AI and am I losing it? Between all of that, I don't know, but either way.
By the way, this reminds me because I just saw this. Dylan says field equals football or whatever, but it used to be Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Was it Frank Broyles Field?
Yeah, it's at Frank Broyles Field.
At Frank Broyles Field.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they still will. I mean, it is Razorback Stadium. Like they're still going to sell it. Like you get that name on the stadium. But is it just always going to be Frank Broyles Field?
Yeah, it better be.
How come it's not written somewhere?
It used to be. Well, that's the thing is it used. Don't get me started. It used to be back before the North End Zone expansion. It was right there above where the team ran out. It said Frank Broyles Field, and then a certain AD when the expansion happened didn't keep that part. So it's almost like they're trying to erase history. Yeah, most terrible.
Most places will have like basketball will be the arena. Somebody's got the naming to the court.
Yes, yes. But again, I don't care who does it, and anybody that ever gets mad because whoever the company ends up being, there's gonna be some Razorback fan be like, "This is terrible. Can you believe it? They named it after cornflakes. Oh man, cornflakes Field." It's just like, hey, if they're paying the money, they can be naming whatever they want.
It could be crypto.com Razorback Stadium.
Dude, what if it ended up being that one right there? The olds would be so mad. They'd be like, crypto, that Ponzi scheme that people keep doing.
OnlyFans Razorback Stadium.
Man, we have standards, man. We wouldn't go down that route.
I was watching a Hallmark movie. I was telling my wife about this, and she didn't understand it. But one of the characters, and this was it was a little bit of an older one, but she was Lily Phillips. That was her name on the thing. And I was laughing. She's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "It's just crazy. This is what they went with." But it predated her a little bit, I think.
Okay.
She's like, "Who is that?" I was explaining to her. She knows. She's heard about the infamous stuff there. So anyway,
golly, yeah, that was not the transition I was thinking of. Like, yeah, it's talking about OnlyFans. Hey, I was watching a Hallmark movie the other day. It's like, great. All right, so we're doing that. Oh, by the way, I want to bring this up. So this was inside Arkansas Razorback Stadium. So I'm telling you right now, though, the Razorback logo is going to have to move over to the right because we're going to put our big old fat logo right there to the left.
Yeah,
maybe we'll put it front and center. Yeah, but see, there's the Frank Broyles Athletic Center that's written down there.
Yeah, there you go. Which, by the way, you can no longer just like walk in there and see stuff.
Yeah, are you kidding me? We're going to try to walk in there and have fun and look at things?
Literally, every time I have family in town, I'm like, man, I wish we could go to the freaking museum and look around, see D-Max stuff there. When I was a kid, that was like a huge moment in my life.
For sure, yeah.
Seeing all this stuff. I remember, I just remembered this happened.
Uh-oh.
When I was a kid up in Fayetteville, and we never came to Fayetteville that much. We were in the little museum. We're walking around. We're watching videos, and freaking Houston Nutt walks right by.
Oh,
and he was like, his office was right up there, and I was just like, that's Houston Nutt. And like we met Houston Nutt, shook his hand and everything, and he was great. He was super nice. But I remember, like as a kid, that was a moment I remember very vividly. They don't even let people in there anymore.
No, because what they want you to do to talk to people, be happy as a Razorback fan and enjoy history.
I would just to see the history of the program because I learned a lot as a kid on that day, seeing all these, here's their Liberty Bowl trophy. Here's their Cotton Bowl trophy. Here's their whatever.
Do you remember what Houston said to you?
I honestly don't. Okay. I was like 7.
I'm sure he was really excited when he said it.
I think he just was like, hey, Woo Pig, thanks for being here.
Hey, Woo Pig, guys, Woo Pig. Yeah. Go on.
He probably gave you a little.
Yep, the finger guns. Yeah, just
exactly.
Now you're going to be a Razorback one day, right? Going to start recruiting you. Yeah, he's it's Houston Nutt. Let's just be honest. So either way, we're at Alumni Hall. We're going to get to more of your chats. We're going to look at some college football going on this weekend as well. But I want to remind everybody that Hickey & Hole Law is the official law firm here of Inside Arkansas. Because believe me, with the stuff that goes on over here, we need a good law firm. Am I right or am I right? Well, luckily we got Hickey & Hole. They're always going to be helpful to us, but also helpful to you, especially when it comes to divorce and custody cases, criminal, civil litigation, all of that. And they are just one call away here in the state of Arkansas, where they have offices in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, as well as Mena. Call them today, 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can see, and they'll help you out, of course, checking out the website at hickeyandhole.com, where they are going to guide you through these really difficult processes and making sure that you're covered no matter what your legal need may be. They are going to do it because you don't need to face it alone. You need to make sure that everything is right and you're protected, and that's what they're all about. So give them a call today at Hickey & Hole Law at 479-434-2414. It's Hickey & Hole Law. Things are about to get better. All right, a few more of your chats. Shout out to Nick Lee, who just gifted 5 Inside Arkansas memberships. It's that time of year, guys, where we have sports again, and people are really nice and friendly, and they start helping out everybody. Because Hickory Hogs over here saying, shout out Nick Lee, Woo Pig.
Yeah.
So give him a super chat.
One good deed creates a ripple effect.
Yeah, Hickory Hogs. So you didn't want to give out memberships to other people. You just wanted to just pay your own money. Come on, dude. Come on, man. We appreciate it, Hickory Hog, and Hickory Hole. So law firm on the mind. Law firm on the mind. I mean, that would be a great way too. So yeah.
You know what I always say about BetSaracen?
Oh, dude, man. Come on now. Oh, man. Tony Honeycutt says the neighbors Wilkerson Ellis Razorback Stadium. I don't know if that flows rolls off the tongue very well. But
really.
Yeah, if we were naming something like that, we would be in competition with Hickey and Hull.
But no, it would have to be Neighbors, Ellis, Wilkerson, because then you could call it the new Razorback Stadium.
I kind of like that.
New Razorback.
I like new.
New era.
Yeah, because I think that might be the only word you can spell with our
that.
initials or our first name thing. Maybe.
When?
With knee?
Ewan?
Yeah, only so much. But hey, I like your thinking there, Honeycutt. I like your thinking there. Let's see. Also, Hayden said, y'all doing any Leroy Lounge shows this year? No, not planned. Doesn't mean we won't. Doesn't mean we can't, but nothing planned on that front. Also, Samuel says, John, do you really only think we scored 38 points against Alabama A&M? That'd be awful if that would happen. No, I mean, yes, that's what I really think, because how many times does the game happen in the way that I really think it's going to go? Almost never. So might as well just throw it out there and see what happens. I mean, it's the first game of the year.
And again, it could be, if that were to happen, maybe it's a thing where it's 35-0 at halftime, and then they empty it, and I don't know if they shorten the clock or whatever, but you just kind of run the air out of the ball. And Sam Pittman's done the thing where he was like, listen, we got this covered. We'll get these other guys some reps or whatever. We're just trying to get out of here uninjured, as healthy as we possibly can, and move on to the next one.
Yeah, if it's
a 38-13 struggle, it's like 20-10 or something at halftime. That's an issue.
We talked about whether or not Arkansas would bring in a transfer quarterback in the offseason. If it's 35-0 at halftime and they win 38-13, Arkansas is bringing in a transfer quarterback after the season.
That's true.
Yeah, they may go and find somebody in there right now. I'm sure somebody's in the portal already that you could add in at the last second. Why not? Just give it a shot. Also, too, Phoebe says, what would have to happen tomorrow to make y'all super confident in this team? I think we talked about this. Nothing. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
not, I mean,
I guess it depends on what you mean by confident.
The word confidence not fair.
Yeah.
Like to increase my expectations, nothing. Like if they beat Alabama A&M 100-0 tomorrow, I'm not going to all of a sudden go, well, I picked them to go 6-6. I'm seeing 8-9 wins now, baby. Right. No, I'll be more influenced from that standpoint based on how other teams look this weekend as opposed to Arkansas.
Correct.
It's not that. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, there are little things that could happen throughout the course of the game that would make me feel a little bit better about certain situations. And Andrew, you touched on it yesterday with the defensive line doing some things, like some of those spots you're not sure about looking the part. Then but that's it. Nothing's going to happen against those guys where I'm like, oh yeah, baby, I feel great now.
Yeah, it's not that they can't improve my feeling on them. It's just that if this is my current feeling of the Arkansas Razorbacks and my expectations and how good I think they're going to be, they can only really go up about right here.
Mm-hmm.
They could go very far down. And it's easier to go down in this type of game. They could make me feel better if everything just they play a perfect game tomorrow, similar to how they did last year to an extent. Like, I would feel slightly better. I'd feel more confident. I actually do think there is something to be said about, like, hey, if you're a good team, you just go out there and beat the hell out of somebody that you're supposed to beat the hell out of. I think there's something to be said for that. So I can feel slightly better, but the risk is way more than the reward in a matchup like this, no doubt.
Well, and to me, it's about the cleanliness of the game. It's like if you go out there and you don't commit a single penalty and you don't have a single turnover, and Taylon Green completes almost 90% of his passes, and you just are clean, that will make me feel good. But if you go out there and you just look like you've never practiced before and you start having those issues, then that's what's going to kill my confidence. Because again, it's, you never can expect a perfect game, but especially offensively, because what we've heard and how great. Okay, well, then you shouldn't have these issues coming up. But still, just don't do any turnovers tomorrow, too. I don't want to see any turnovers. I know they say that for every game.
And obviously we want to see Taylon Green be accurate with the football and all that, but they put it on the turf so much last year.
Dude,
hang on to the ball,
too much, man. Yeah. Just I do not want to see. I don't want to see. I feel like I'm in Remember the Titans. I don't want to see Alabama A&M in red zone in the first half. I don't want to see them in your red zone in the first half.
Yeah, shut it down. They set a record for forcing 3 and outs.
Yeah, because I don't think UAPB even got past the 50 in the first half. If I'm not mistaken.
They didn't spend much time over there.
Yeah. So I don't want to see Devin Bale once. I want to see Scott Starzik maybe a little. It's okay. I'll allow Starzik to go out there, but I don't want to see anything else like that though. Not at all. Again, folks, we're live here at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. Man, it's almost like there's a game tomorrow. There's a lot of traffic coming in.
A lot of people in here.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
A lot of people getting merched up, man.
That's right. That's right. I got the bib. They're in a new bibs here. So these probably would be pretty cool shirtless if it's hot outside. But, it's still though the style. I feel like I was talking to the guy. I feel like this is a basketball thing, you know.
Seems like it.
Is it Wisconsin or Indiana that does the
Indiana
does that? So yeah, you got that. But hey, you got the jerseys, DMAC and Felix Jones. Which, by the way, guys, did you see the picture from yesterday of the running back trio that our guy Quinn got so mad about?
Oh yeah. Said the DMAC wasn't as good as Cadillac Williams.
Quinn, we love you, buddy, but come on, man.
Crash out Quinn last night.
Yeah, no, he was dialed up, man.
Yeah,
he was way too excited last night when his team's got to go on the road and play Baylor tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
I'm gonna send him a message later and just be like, "Hey, man, take some breaths."
I will say I am cheering for Auburn and I am betting on Auburn tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
So Quinn, we are brethren.
Yep,
that's right.
I said because again, I know we'll talk about the games, but like we all agree, Quinn's crazy. Like that's not even an argument, right? For the Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, right?
Yeah, no, I you know, it's like crazy. It's like that Auburn trio is a great trio. It's
For
like a
sure,
legendary
for sure.
trio. I would personally take Arkansas's over them. Obviously, I have a good amount of bias in that, you know, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good about it. I don't think it's crazy. Here's the thing. I think it's crazy when people make arguments like, oh, so-and-so's the best quarterback ever. I think if you even have an argument as a fan of that team or program, you are well within your rights to say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think Arkansas has a very good argument that that's the best trio of running backs we've seen in college football. You can go find Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, and all these guys at Wisconsin. You can go find 5 or 6 that are good and comparable. I think if you have an argument, you can make that claim. So I don't think Quinn should have been upset at Hog fans for making that claim.
Right.
I wouldn't be mad at Auburn fans for making that claim.
No.
I wouldn't be like, wow, you think you had a good running back trio? Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that was my thing is like, we're talking about old things, but I looked it up in the numbers. Hey, McFadden and Jones only played 3 years total together, and they were all together the same age. And of those 6 seasons combined, they had 5 of them that had 1,000 yards rushing. So only 1 year, Felix's freshman year, did not rush for 1,000 yards. Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, doing the same 3 years that they played, and they played 4 years even. So it's like I'm just saying, Quinn, you can, like you said, Andrew, you can have that argument, but the only argument I would hear honestly is the Miami of 01. What was it with Clinton Portis and Willis McGahee and
that's a good one. Right
who's Frank Gore? Yeah, like it's pretty good.
That's a squad.
Pretty good.
Last thing I'll say on the stupid running back thing, Ronnie Brown when he was with the Miami Dolphins. Do you remember what made him prominent as a pro player?
The Wildcat.
They ran the Wildcat, and so honestly. DMAC has done more for Ronnie Brown than anything.
Yeah. Well, they called it the Wild Fin, you know, because they had for the Dolphin, the Wild Fin. So yeah, good times. By the way, I just want to show this picture because that's them all together. Just does your heart good as a Razorback fan. Couple things really quick that stand out from this. One, Peyton Hillis once again still feels like he could get 4th and short.
Dude.
Yeah.
All that. But I also and maybe it's just the way they're standing. I knew Felix Jones was short, but I didn't realize Peyton Hillis was taller than Darren McFadden. Like
Peyton Hillis, maybe it's just the angle. But is Peyton Hillis 6'3"?
I didn't think so, but maybe he's got cowboy boots on, which is very possible. It's a very good possibility.
Is this the Sports Center set at Walmart?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in there the other night. I saw him putting it together, and I didn't know what was going on there. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. It made me laugh, too, because we love you, Walmart. But I was like, man, they're doing a really good job of making sure this doesn't look like a Walmart where they're at.
Right.
So, I mean, that was the big thing. Is like, we just don't want them to make it look like they're, sitting there at the Lens Crafters or whatever it is next door, or the haircut place.
What are the odds we can talk them into letting us do a show there? Slim.
I mean, if it's still up, well, what is it for anyway?
I mean, they spent a lot of time putting it together, it feels like. So
might as well let us get some.
Yeah, because
I'll hang out.
I don't think anybody else did a show there, so at least nobody.
We'll just
knows.
put our we'll put our tablecloth over it. And
yeah, there we go. There we go. We look like we're Scott Van Pelt over there, hosting Sports Center, something like that. So
they're gonna be looking after he leaves for On 3. So
at this point, geez, it's like who's not leaving for On 3? Not us, not I. Not Dudley. So we got that going. Again, folks, live here at Alumni Hall. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll get to more of your chats. Use that promo code HOGSBY20 when you come in. Get 20% off your purchase here at Alumni Hall. But either way, let's look at some of the games going on this weekend. We'll talk about what happened last night. Nothing really significant as far as on the SEC side of things. Missouri ended up blowing out UCA, but they lost their quarterback one of the quarterbacks they were going to play last night. The other one did all right. And they also lost their kicker because he, on the kickoff, blew his ACL out or something.
That's crazy how that went down. It was also crazy with the Sam Horn thing because they were going to play one half each, and it was the guy who wasn't supposed to play until the second half, and they put him in for like a wildcat thing.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt the first play. He got popped on that knee too. So,
yeah, I don't make sense of it.
Seems like it worked out okay though, because the other guy was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think a lot of people were probably just waiting on him to fully establish himself.
Yeah.
Well, he did that, even if it was against UCA or whatever.
Well, it's always so
looked
funny. It's like if you're going to do the split quarterback thing, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to play one first half, one in the second half. You're going to play the one you like in the first half.
Yes.
Like, it's like you still have to make a decision. You got to start one of them. So it's like, always it's like, oh, we're not making a decision, but we're going to start you and we're going to bring you in after.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not happening. Well, also too, and I love, like, of course, Missouri fans are always so nice, but the Missouri offensive line was getting worked there in the first half. And I just tweeted, I was like, man, hey, offensive line good. And I got the today update. Oh, this aged well. And I'm like, yes, you could sit there and say your offensive line was getting destroyed by UCA.
I could clip out a full minute of Henderson State transfers taking Prabula's head off. So
but
not get carried away, guys.
This aged well. I was like, yeah, your quarterback got hurt because of y'all, man.
They got that lineman. I think his last name is Green or something, but he was like an all SEC interior lineman. And then, like, the week before the game, they moved him to left tackle. They're like, he's just going to be a left tackle now. And he was the guy that was getting spin cycled every rep. I don't know. It's weird.
Update. Yeah, shut up.
Update.
Missouri's. Yeah, you guys played UCA. Good for you.
Yeah, we'll do another update after you lose to the Jayhawks next weekend.
Dude, that will be very funny if that happened. Very funny. But it's okay. So for this weekend, tonight on Fox, you have the Fighting Quins, Auburn Tigers, taking on Baylor. According to BetSaracen, Auburn's favored. I saw they were 2.5. It's moved to 1.5 for Auburn being favored. Now, this is on the road in Waco. So you guys, you said you're rooting for Auburn and you believe Auburn. You bet on Auburn, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I don't feel that strongly about it. Like I'm not like,
well, yeah,
but
it's the first game. Yeah.
I think Auburn, just with the additions they made in the offseason, a wide receiver, bringing in Jackson Arnold, who they think is going to be an improvement. Their defense should be pretty solid. Like if Auburn loses this game, every year there's one hot seat bowl to start the year. I feel like Miami versus Florida last year was kind of that, where when Florida lost that game, you just kind of knew, oh, this isn't going to be great. I think this would be a way worse loss than Florida had against Miami last year. I think this would be like, it's not egregious to lose to Baylor by any means, but it's like if you're Auburn and you're trying to sell yourself on this being like a huge step forward season, you cannot lose to Baylor opening week. You just cannot. Yeah. And Baylor, same thing. I think David Aranda's tenure has been disappointing. He's not that great of a head coach. I think when they lose to Auburn, you're gonna kind of see the writing on the wall for him as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I hate to be that SEC homer honk kind of dude, but I think there are levels to this. And so if you're trying to break into the upper tier of the SEC, that's different than breaking into the upper tier of the Big 12. It's kind of the way I feel about it. I don't think that they're going to be fazed by playing in front of 38,000 people or however many, because it's a small stadium. It'll be full or whatever, but it's a small stadium. I'm not sold on Auburn, although I do think if they answer the quarterback question, they've got some really talented wide receivers and some really talented players in there. I think I'm Ward Quiggle for this game.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Quiggle?
Yeah,
that works for sure.
It sounds great to me.
Okay.
Also, too, about it, I don't know. It feels like not the same exact thing, but so many people have been hating on Auburn, which justifiably so this offseason, because they've done some stupid stuff. They've said some dumb things. They've done some dumb things. So I'm not saying anyone was wrong, but it always feels like when people just get made fun of, it's like the little kid just steps up and shuts everybody up in that next game. I feel like that's going to happen with Auburn. Like, calling plays on first down and second down and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, it maybe long-term won't be, but for some reason, I just feel like in this game, everyone's going to go, well, maybe there's some method to the madness there. Maybe we need to have our guys call different downs and coaches and stuff.
With what they spent on the roster in the offseason and like the moves they made to kind of ensure that they don't have that, lack of talent, I just think like this is a game you just kind of you have to win it. Like I don't know, and so I think there's ways for Arkansas or Auburn to win this game and still not be very good. I think that's very possible, but I think they get the job done tonight.
Garrett, call him, relax. That's all I'm going to say in the chat. Relax.
I like the bet, though.
Yes, it's a great bet.
I like the bet.
It's a great bet.
I love Georgia Tech tonight. Love Georgia Tech.
I love Georgia Tech as a sneaky ACC contender there.
Yeah.
Haynes King.
Dude, they got a good coach, too.
They do have a good coach. Yeah. And they were good last year.
Yeah.
Weren't they the ones that
beat Florida State week 1?
They did.
Or week 0,
Didn't they push Georgia to the brim? in the final game?
It was wasn't it like the 5 overtime or something weird?
It's either last year or the year before, but it was recent.
It was a really good one.
Yeah.
I think they beat Miami too when Miami was still undefeated or something maybe. But no, they're sneaky good.
Yeah, those smart schools, man. You always got to watch them. Their blood runs hot when you go up in those rivalries. All right, so the big game that's kind of in the first game really on Saturday, or at least one of them, everyone's looking forward to. Texas and Ohio State. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, Texas #1, Ohio State defending champs. This game's in Columbus. Dave Portnoy's been banned or whatever. Everything's going on with it. I cannot think of two teams that I hate more that I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I don't know who to, because I really hate Ohio State, but I don't want Texas to be good. And so, I mean, honestly, guys, I think Ohio State's going to win personally, but I don't know. I'm just hoping for a great game there in the early part.
I don't think I'm really touching this one when it comes to betting. I would lean Ohio State just because they're at home. Both teams have new quarterbacks. You probably feel. Do you feel better about Arch than this other kid? You should.
I would say so. Yeah,
you should. But man, just think about you're anointed as the starter. I know it's not his first career start, but you get anointed as the starter, and you go through his whole offseason, the whole hype machine, everything that's happened with Arch Manning, and it's like, hey, buddy, we're going to send you to Ohio State for your first game. And I know they're replacing a lot, but that seems tough. And I could see a situation where he has a couple costly turnovers and they lose that game on the road to Ohio State and everybody starts selling on him, but then Texas winds up not losing again the rest of the year kind of deal.
It's very possible. I mean, hell, these are two. I mean, was it #1 versus #3? These are two of arguably the best rosters in college football. Just top to bottom, the defensive talent, the amount of draft picks on both sides is crazy. I think what we saw last year with Ohio State is that Ryan Day needs that. And they had the best roster in college football last year. That's why they ended up winning the national title. But we also saw that even with a huge talent advantage, they can be a little bit susceptible. We've seen Ohio State lose in some of these kind of spots before. I remember Baker went in there to Ohio State and beat them.
The flag waving.
I remember actually C.J. Stroud's first year as a starter at Ohio State. They played Oregon and he looked horrible. They ended up losing to Oregon, and it was like everybody was like, "Oh man, C.J. Stroud sucks," and like. I think I could kind of see something like that happening where, this Sand kid is just overwhelmed by a really good Texas pass rush. I think both defenses are going to be I don't think this is going to be a shootout at all, even though both teams historically have great offenses. I think both quarterbacks are very unproven, but Arch, to your point, is maybe more ready for this moment because he's played in some games before, got some reps in some big games last year against A&M, started some games in the SEC. I think he's going to be a little bit more prepared, and he's got such good weapons around him. I think Ohio State's really, really talented, but not quite as talented as the roster they had last year. And I think Texas actually might be the more talented team on paper, although they're both. I mean, it's just unreal how much they have on both sides of the ball. But I like Texas. I like Sark. I think their offense is going to be a little bit ahead of schedule. But going into Ohio State, man, that's not going to be a easy atmosphere to just waltz into and win.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping for a good game. I think it'll be a good game. I really don't want Texas to win, though, because it's already bad and obnoxious. But if they beat Ohio State, then they're suddenly going to be, we're champs. We're just going to walk through the SEC, no problem. They're already obnoxious. Somebody needs to knock them down a peg or two. And but I don't want it to be Ohio State. Again, it just sucks. I hate this.
I'm chanting SEC when Texas wins by 12 tomorrow. Which, by the way, I kind of hate that this is an 11 a.m. game. I know Texas plays the big noon kickoff is always 11 a.m. Texas loves playing 11 a.m. games too. They play Oklahoma at 11 a.m. I wish this were like a 7:30 p.m. Night game in Columbus.
Yeah, I would go for that. I would absolutely go for that. But there's still some good games that night. Or tomorrow night that we'll get into. As far as any other games there throughout the day, we'll get to some of the smaller ones too. But Alabama, Florida State, any chance Florida State? No.
I think Alabama rolls them big. I like the over in this game, by the way.
48.5, or is it?
What is it? What is it now?
According to SARACEN, 48.5.
Oh, dude, it's dropped down from 50-51. I love that number of 48.5. I mean,
Bama might score that themselves.
Literally, I think Ty Simpson might not be that guy. I don't think he needs to be that guy in this game. I think he just got to be game manager, get the ball to those playmakers, which are really good.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't have to be this game wrecker. I think he's just got to kind of play the part there. And I also think that quarterback Castellanos for Florida State, he's coming over from Boston College. I don't think he's like a Heisman type of guy, but I think he's a really scrappy backdoor cover type of guy. And so I don't love Bama. I think Bama's going to win comfortably, but I worry that Castellanos can backdoor cover that. So I'm going with the over. I think he's going to be able to make some plays. Might be some rain, though.
Yeah, which could play a huge factor into it as well. I know we'd like to talk about Florida and Long Island University, but the other big game, of course, tomorrow night, LSU Clemson, top 10 matchup. The battle for Death Valley, the real Death Valley happening. This one, of course, is in the Clemson version of Death Valley. Clemson favored by 4.5, over under set at 57.5. LSU's lost every home opener under Brian Kelly, if I'm not mistaken.
Last 5 and going back to Ed O's last year.
Yeah, so they make it 6 in a row?
No. I think they're going to get it done.
Okay.
I think they've disrespected the what do they call it? What were they saying? Like Death Valley Junior or something they were calling it. I think they're going to go in there and win. I really do. And the only thing I'm basing that off of is the law of averages here. Like at some point they're going to win one of these games, and this is probably their best opportunity to do it. I know that it's interesting with LSU because some of the question marks for them going into this year, it's like, all right, well, the offensive line, are they going to be able to protect us enough? But they actually feel oddly good for a change about where their defense is at. We're going to find out real quick because like if LSU, if you got some offensive line questions and you're playing a Clemson team that's got one of the arguably the best defensive front in the country, that could get problematic. And you know how it is. If you're playing in an atmosphere like that and you're giving up sacks, that place is going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. So there's a lot of reasons for me to look at this and go, yeah, I mean, Clemson, they probably might wind up getting this one done. This is just a hunch play for me. I think LSU is going to go in there. I think it's going to be close and competitive, but I think they'll do it. Some people are calling this the battle of the most overrated quarterbacks in the country.
No, that's a good point you just made there, Curtis, because I think Cade Klubnik is getting kind of thrown in. Him and Drew Aller are getting thrown into some of these conversations. And I don't know if Nussmeier's like this generational talent or anything, but I actually do trust Nussmeier a lot more. I think he's going to be more stable here, but I think Klubnik has a better team around him. Honestly, I think his defense is better than LSU's. His O-line is better than LSU's. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if this does turn into a like quarterback dance here. Who comes out on top there? You mentioned the D-line for Clemson. I mean, 3 like legitimate All-Americans.
They're nasty, man.
3 top 2-round picks. Like that's going to be tough, especially in the early part of the season because D-lines, O-lines, like big guys get banged up throughout the year. Week 1. That Clemson D-line is going to be insane. And last year, Clemson played Georgia week 1 and got absolutely embarrassed. Just got completely outclassed, out-dominated, out-toughed, out-physicaled. I think that's going to be playing in their brains because LSU's got their own type of redemption tour here where they've lost all these week 1 matchups. They fall short on this stage time and time again under Brian Kelly. Clemson, I feel like, is still licking their wounds from that Georgia game, and they recovered well and had a good year. I think, and they lost to South Carolina as well. I think Clemson has a huge chip on their shoulder at home of like, we cannot lose another one of these big marquee matchups. I think there's a lot of pressure in this game. I actually kind of like LSU as well, though. I just think Nussmeier is better than Klubnik.
Yeah.
And I do think the Clemson defense is more, dynamic than LSU's defense. I think LSU's defense is going to be fine. The question I have for LSU is, can they run the ball? Because last year they were very dependent on that passing attack, which was very good. But when you get in some of these matchups, you need to be able to just turn around and hand the ball off to your guy for 5 yards. This matchup's going to be really hard to do that, but I think Nussmeier can make enough plays in what's probably going to be low scoring.
I actually, you guys kind of stole because I was thinking like LSU was going to win as well. I don't think I'm rooting for LSU to lose because I just want to see meltdown from Tiger Nation because they're already, not big on Brian. Oh, some are not big on Brian Kelly, but if they go out there and lose another one like that and it just puts them in the hole to try to get back to the playoff, they're going to be on edge all season long, too.
As much as I love making fun of LSU, it's so funny. And I said this the other day that, like, they played USC last year, who was like a 7-5, 8-4, like, all right team. They lose that game, and you're like, damn, how'd they lose it? I think this year's LSU team would smoke that USC team. I think they would smoke the Florida State team they lost to a few years ago. They would definitely smoke the Mike Leach team that got them before Arkansas beat them during the COVID year. I think this is the best. This LSU team is way better than all those teams that lost those games. But they're playing a team that is way better than all those teams they also lost to. So it's just a weird conundrum.
Did you hear that they were playing Harold Perkins at like the star position some, and like they're just really moving him around on all 3 levels of the defense? And
this has been a very controversial thing because Harold Perkins, you guys may remember, Hog fans, made his claim to fame against Tykees Crawford in 2022. That would have been.
That he did.
Yes.
We had like 4 sacks or whatever. Made his living as like this great pass rush threat. LSU played him at middle linebacker the year after that, and he was horrible, and it didn't work for him. Last year, they felt like they finally got him back in like a hybrid role, and then he tears his ACL.
Yeah.
And so he's coming back from injury, but they feel like they have the best role for him. But I feel like if you see Harold Perkins out in space, I think Clemson's going to attack that a good bit.
Right?
Yeah. Again, I keep forgetting that Harold Perkins is there.
He's been there for a minute, yeah.
I know, because what was it, 2022 was the game?
He was like a freshman sensation that year, so I guess now he's just a true senior, but a guy like that typically does not play a senior year of college football.
No, typically doesn't. And then also, I guess Sunday, this is at least in the SEC, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, 2 o'clock. You got, and this one, South Carolina favored by 7.5, according to SARACEN.
Vanderbilt pieced up Virginia Tech last year. If my memory serves me correctly.
They sure did.
They're sketchy. South Carolina should be. What's the spread in that game,
7.5.
And that's at South Carolina?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome, or Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I still like South Carolina to win that game.
I
don't know. I don't really like either of those teams.
I don't think South Carolina is as far along as a program as some people think they are coming into this year. I know they wound up having a really good year last year, but I am a Lenora Sellers believer. Like I do think he's really, really good and really talented. I will take them to win that game also. Do you think, because if you go to a home South Carolina game and a home Virginia Tech game, it's 2 of the most electric entrances that you have.
Was it Inner Sandman and then Sandstorm?
Right.
Well, sand action.
Yeah,
big
you think they do it for
sand
each
people?
one of them there in Atlanta?
It's
a nice split crowd.
I hate that. I wonder, like, are those fan bases going to like fill up that place?
South Carolina, they might.
Yeah, because they're coming off such a good year. They should be pretty. They should be.
I mean, they're number 13 in the country. I mean,
Virginia Tech, they're
loyal,
passionate, man.
They are. They have a great fan base.
Yeah.
They also, again, are coming off of such a bad year, like a disappointing year where they kind of fell short in some of these matchups. South Carolina, I feel like this is a big moment for them, because if you lose this game, everything you did last year, we just kind of forget about. Like, I'm not saying, we're going to retroactively take away your 9 wins, but you lost the bowl game to Burt to end the year, which is a little bit of a red flag, but it's not a big deal. It's a bowl game. Who cares about bowl games? Well, you lose this one, all of a sudden, all that work you put in is out the window. You are back to being a doormat. Nobody respects you. Nobody cares what you're doing. Whatever.
And Burt was in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Like Beamer was shook. Our last memory of Shane Beamer after that entire season was just being completely shook in the Cheez-It Bowl or whatever.
Yeah, he had to get held back.
Yeah, Burt's all the way across the field. The whole thing was weird.
You worded it very well where you said you don't think South Carolina is as far ahead of schedule as people seem to think they are. What's weird is they beat Clemson last year.
Yeah.
We could be looking at a weird fork in the road here where, like, if Clemson beats LSU on Saturday, all of a sudden Clemson's maybe ranked number 1. Like, they're going to be a bona fide title contender, in South Carolina, who had this awesome win over Clemson, could be 0-1 with a really tough loss that kind of reassesses their program, or the inverse could happen.
Well, I also think Shane Beamer's doing this for his dad, Frank, former coach of Virginia Tech, right? Gonna beat his old team.
Sure, yeah,
sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he kind of resents that.
Yeah,
that was one of the things in the Netflix documentary. He was like, I had to go somewhere where I could just be Shane Beamer. I don't want to be Frank's son. So I think he kind of has a weird animosity. Now, I'm sure he loves Virginia Tech. I mean, he coached there himself.
Right.
But I think there is a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there is. By the way, real quick, just randomly, but apparently the big noon kickoff on Fox is going to televise Lee Corso's final headgear thing on ESPN.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're going to simulcast it, but I was like, that's kind of cool.
That is pretty. That's a nice tip of the hat. But I think the reason Fox is doing it is because they will never have to worry about competing with Lee Corso ever again.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't even know who's on the big noon kickoff. Is it still like Urban Meyer? And then I kept thinking it was like, what was it for a while? Urban Meyer, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart.
It's still Urban
Brady
Meyer.
Quinn.
Yeah. I don't know who all's on it this year.
Urban Meyer was talking about the Dave Portnoy thing.
Yeah.
He was like, he'll say what he wants to say, but we were 7-0 against Michigan when I was there. So
yeah, I like that.
That's true.
Shout out to Ryan Day for just ruining that.
Yeah,
like Ohio State literally beat Michigan every year for a while there.
Dude, he could lose to Michigan again this year and win another national championship, and there would still be kind of an unreasonable percentage of that fan base that would be like, I don't know if he's the guy.
I know, truly.
It's nuts, man.
Yep. We're here live at Alumni Hall, folks. Again, come on by, use promo code HOGSBY20, get 20% off your purchase, as they got everything here in stock for the Razorback weekend that is coming up. I know I have a few of your chats to get into as well. Was there any other games, guys, that, there are, but ones of note? Syracuse and Tennessee, can I give you a little bit of that? Maybe the Mississippi State Southern Miss?
It's a whole lot of orange in that Tennessee-Syracuse game. That's crazy work.
That's disgusting.
Okay, so we talked about this, I guess, a couple weeks ago, that you could get Southern Miss money line over Mississippi State and Toledo over Kentucky at like plus 1,500 or something crazy. I might do that just because, but I think Andrew, I think I'm with you in that I'm not sold on the Southern Miss thing here. I kind of am buying Toledo though.
It's one of those things. So last year, Mississippi State played a week 2 game against Arizona State, and they were like 5-point underdogs. And in the moment, we didn't know how bad Mississippi State was. We also didn't know how good Arizona State is. I think that Southern Miss line is going to be one that we look back on in 7 weeks, and we're like, holy cow. Like, if Mississippi State is even somewhat competent, we're going to look back and be like, holy, I mean, Southern Miss went 1-11 last year and then fired their coach. By all indications, they are a garbage FBS team. They should be. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe they aren't. But it's like, if Mississippi State is even a competent, has living, breathing SEC football players, they should win that game extremely comfortably.
I guess Southern Miss might have the most roster turnover in the country, like the most newcomers in the country.
When you go 1-11, you got it.
And they got... I think it was Marshall. They got Marshall's coach, and they brought half of his team over there.
Who is a stud, by the way. Those Marshall teams were good. I hate to be dramatic here. Mississippi State, if you do not cover that spread tomorrow, Jeff Lebby's not the guy.
Yeah,
if you go into year 2, they spent like $12 million on the portal class or something crazy like that. They have put in a ton of money to this program. They are all in on hey, last year we gave you a mulligan. We knew you were going to suck. It's all good. But let's move forward here. And I like Lebby. I think he's a good play caller. Now they've got some talent around him. I think if you don't show up and whip Southern Miss's ass, it's going to be that's a red flag if you ask me.
No, listen, Hattiesburg gets crazy at 11 a.m.
It is at Southern Miss, which is a little interesting.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Hattiesburg. You never know. Okay, and I'll tell you this one game, guys, that I'm not saying this is going to be an upset, but I like UTSA against Texas A&M.
What's that spread? Do we have a number there?
Yeah, so according to BetSaracen, for that particular game, I just saw it. It was set at 23.5. A&M's favored. I think they cover that. Not saying they're going to win, but I'm saying they cover.
UTSA covers.
I think UTSA covers.
I could see that.
I mean, 24 points is a ton, and I don't know. I just feel I don't know about A&M. They're just weird. I don't really know what to think about them, if they're good or not. I know they're, I guess, a preseason top 25 team, so whatever that means, but I don't know. I like UTSA in that.
Listen, still to this day, even this past summer, I saw multiple Hog fans talking about Jeff Traylor as a head coaching candidate at Arkansas. Obviously, I know why. He's a running back coach. We love doing that. Bringing back anybody who's ever stepped foot on campus to come back. I am still waiting for Jeff Traylor to accomplish any feat as a head coach. And that's not, I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's done a bad job. Like UTSA, they've improved since he's got there, certainly. But it's like, I'm still kind of waiting on that moment where it's like, oh, yeah, Jeff Traylor, UTSA, he's got him rolling. I think beating A&M would certainly classify as that. But, I guess I'm still, I don't know where that came from. The notion that Jeff Traylor is this guy. He was floated around for the A&M job even. Yeah. And I just don't know how that happened. I know he's a really good coach and he's a good recruiter and seems to make a good impression on guys. So I'm kind of waiting to be sold on Jeff Traylor. I would love for Saturday to be that time where he really gives them a scare.
Well, I just think it's the time in the day of taking elite level high school coaches in the state of Texas and thinking that they're just going to be amazing coaches because, Art Briles was that. I think that those days are kind of coming to an end because Jeff Traylor was that way with high school in Texas. They were like, oh, this guy's the next big thing. Chad Morris was also that way. Yeah. But I think that those days of just, they were great at the highest classification in Texas, therefore they can just go to college and be great.
He did have Rakeem Boyd running for 1,000 yards. So
who's that? Traylor? That's right. That's right. Yeah. Anybody with a connection though, they just need to come back, be that coach, just like that. Again, folks, we're here at Alumni Hall. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And again, it's been busy here, but it's the game day tomorrow, so you got to get geared up for it. They got it all. Use promo code Hogs by 20 for 20% off your purchase. A few chats here. Hickory Hogs says, Curtis, Lindenwood not covering last night cost me a 4-leg parlay. Was rooting for your boys.
You should have talked to me about that. I saw it, and I saw that they were favored by a touchdown on the road, and I was just like, there's no way. Dude, there's not about that life, man.
I bet Lindenwood, I think they played Missouri. It might have been week 1 a few years ago. And it was like the spread was like 54.5. And right at the last second, Missouri just punches one in. Drink was just running his real offense with a 55-point lead. It was disgraceful.
They're good for it.
Then Austin says, did y'all hear about the Minnesota QB and his ties to Arkansas kid look good too? Is that the kid from here in Fayetteville?
Drake Lindsay.
Yeah, I guess they were, whoever was on the broadcast last night was like, I don't know how you got this kid from the state of Arkansas, who, legacy, the whole 9 yards. He's like, and he's not at Arkansas. He's like, I just don't understand.
So here's my thing. Because I've seen a lot of people reacting to this like it is this crazy big travesty. What do y'all really want to happen? Do you think Arkansas should have not brought in Taylon Green and should have just brought in Drake Lindsey and just rolled with him, given him the keys as a true freshman? Because he's a redshirt freshman now, I believe. Redshirt freshman, maybe redshirt sophomore, and he's earned the job at Minnesota. Awesome. That's a great story for him. He looked great the other night, by the way. He did have the funniest interception I've ever seen. His first career interception. Did y'all happen to see it? He was throwing it to the flats. The guy falls down and it hits the guy's shoulder pad, bounces up in the air. Pick that goes back the other way, but he looked really solid, was just decisive, threw a couple touchdowns. I think he had like 250 yards. I love Drake Lindsey. Like I'm sure he's a guy that, hell, maybe when Arkansas does need a quarterback, maybe they make that call, but I don't buy that this is like some great horror that happened where it's like, oh man, Arkansas should have gone all in and brought in this kid. And he was a solid recruit, and he was awesome at Fayetteville. And I remember there being discussion about it at the time, but the notion then was he's going to go somewhere where he could play. He went somewhere. He's playing. I think it kind of worked out well for both parties. Maybe no.
Well, no, he was a 3-star, the number 873 overall prospect in the country.
Yeah, and so it's like, look, he's gone out, and I would say he's got a good chance to outperform that. I mean, how he's starting in the Big Ten as a redshirt freshman, like that's notable. He looked great last night. I'd love to see him have a great year, and then I would love to see Arkansas go out and bring him home. That would be really awesome. That's something that realistically could happen. I don't know why everybody's acting like it was like this crazy, shameful thing that Arkansas stuck with Taylon Green at quarterback.
If you just, again, take away from him being from Arkansas, if he was from Missouri, would you guys be mad if you guys didn't offer this kid? No.
By the way, you know who his uncle is? His uncle is Jack Lindsey, the guy who started in that 2018.
Oh, that's right. That's his uncle, not his cousin?
It's his uncle, from what I'm told.
And no, I wouldn't be because if you look at his offer list coming out of high school, it was Minnesota, Colorado State, Missouri State, South Alabama, Tulsa, UAB, UNLV.
Yeah, it says it all right there to me.
Good player, but I'm not upset about it.
Arkansas brought in KJ Jackson instead.
Yeah, or Trevor Jackson, isn't that his name?
Well, Trevor's the guy they brought in the portal the other day, but yeah, KJ. I mean, they're the same class as KJ Jackson's.
That's right.
Yeah,
I like the poaching idea.
I do like the poaching idea as well, especially if Drake Lindsey goes out there and has a solid year at Minnesota and is like a upward trajectory. Hey, this might be a guy that has some experience. That'd be cool.
Yep. Let's see. We got Ryan said that guy that got hurt for Missouri is a pitcher for the baseball team too. Oh man, so that means they're not going to go 1-29 this year. They're going to go 1-30.
Did he get one of their dubs over A&M?
Maybe he did. Yeah. Missouri's head coach seems like in baseball, I should say, seems like a great man, a leader, pillar of the community, man of faith by all accounts. I do not know how he has a job as a SEC head coach. He had like a 30 games below 500 record at Southern before that, and then Missouri was just like, yeah, this is our guy. Let's just hire him. And they're just rolling with it. And so I don't know, man. I don't. Them losing a pitcher in baseball does not mean anything to me.
And I mean, they're epitome of not a serious program when it comes to baseball.
Crazy,
like some places just don't. They don't prioritize. Most places don't prioritize it the way Arkansas does. But even to an SEC type of level, they are not on that type of playing field. There, it's when I was thinking yesterday, we were like doing the Virginia to the SEC thing. And it just, and one thing I said on the Pod the Palace is like, when I think about Virginia to the SEC, I feel the same way I do about Missouri, where you can do it and it's fine. It's whatever. They have their pockets where they find success in certain sports.
Yeah.
Okay. But it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like an SEC school. And part of it, when I think about Missouri, is I think about baseball there with them. And it's just like, they look like a Big Ten baseball program.
Yeah,
like it's that kind of deal there. You know what I mean?
Facility
Culturally, all
wise.
that. Now, Virginia's good in baseball, but
right.
I
well, then in Virginia would be the inverse, where it'd be like in basketball they'd be competitive and stuff like that. But it's like their football facilities. Really, like, are you really in SEC football?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, we're here at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. I just want to give a shout out. Our guy Derek Garduno is here over here.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So he wanted to come and say hey to us and everything. So shout out to him. Glad he's being able to be out and about. I know he's been dealing with the bout with cancer, but it's been good news so far. So appreciate him coming out and hanging out. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been great to be here too. Sometimes it gets so busy, then I feel like, well, are we kind of in the way? But nah, it's fine. People want to come in.
Thankfully, we're barricaded in here.
That's true. Okay, a few of your other chats, folks. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. It's game day eve. It's exciting times right now. Let's see. Where was this at? Trying to think of. Oh yeah, what was SET talking about? When it said Inside Arkansas sponsored by the K Adams Feet Club? What does this
Okay,
mean?
well, I've been seeing some of this in the chat. Did she show her feet or something? Did that happen?
Who?
I don't know.
Who's Kay Adams?
Hey, shut up, John. I'm not buying this one. This is your worst bit that you do.
I swear to you that I do not know who she is.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Should I know who she is, Cameron?
Yeah, you should know who she is.
Kay Adams. See, he doesn't know. And he's
in a
on top of
relationship.
it.
He's in a relationship. That's why he's saying that.
A
little bit. I'm in a relationship.
Well, based on your reaction,
NBA guy.
Yeah. Well, and
what it
NFL or
NFL
NBA,
too. Yeah.
Based on your reaction, I can kind of connect the dots and know the type of person that she is.
She's the one that gets rizzed up by Shams every time he. Yeah.
Okay, at least to know something a little bit about that. That sounds familiar.
KD shot a shot with her on an interview one time. That's pretty good.
Golly. Okay, well, sorry I brought it up because I thought there was something here. Like it was like some clothing line. Doesn't that sound like a clothing line?
It does. It does sound like a blanket company.
Yeah, a blanket company. Yep. Let's see. Also, Aries just want to know, those jerseys stitched?
No.
Of course, I don't even know what stitch means. I guess like
I'm
sewn
guessing
on?
the numbers, like the lettering, the font, and all that. No, they're not stitched.
Yeah. But so hopefully that answered your question there. Let's see. Also, Phoebe says, what would you have to happen tomorrow for make y'all super? Did we already talk about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Was it that chat that we brought up?
It might have been.
Okay. I thought it was somebody different.
It might have been a different wording. I think it was a different
a little bit more. Hey, Cameron, come over here. We're going to get Cameron on the air here. Is everybody cool with that? So we can close up shop here. Yeah, come and squeeze it. You can just sit right here.
Come on, we'll make it work.
Yeah, you're gonna hold that right there, Cameron.
Sit in Santa's lap.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure you hold it up to your head. So this is intern Cameron. What's up, Cameron?
Howdy.
So how's things over there behind us? As you're,
I'm just glad I got a little break from being John's twin, so I could be Curtis's shadow for a while.
I like that.
The fact that that's what his very first time opening up and Mike here on the show was that line was. You've been sitting on that one for a while, or like?
Well, I've been sitting back behind Curtis, laughing because all I see is my hand in the background. So
I like that.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we're glad you could come out and see us in the wild here, and get us all together because we don't get to do this very often. So glad you can make a part of it. So how you feeling about tomorrow?
I feel good about tomorrow. It's the rest that I'm worried about.
The refs.
The rest of the
year.
Oh,
the rest of the year. They said the refs. I'm like, gosh, hopefully the refs don't play a factor into tomorrow.
I'm always worried about that.
Yeah, I'd say it's always worried about it. So we did our predictions. Everybody agreed with them, obviously, and said they were great. Do you have as far as season predictions go? Like, how do you feel?
You want like game by game,
or
or you just
the
want
overall
record?
record?
Just give us overall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Probably 6-6.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Coward.
Yeah. Yeah. So do they
10-2. Come on.
So they win 3 SEC games and lose to Notre Dame, or are you gonna beat a Notre Dame?
Though I haven't thought that far yet.
All right. Well,
I just had 6-6 in my head.
Well, listen, if they go 6-6, it's never going to be the way we all think. It's going to be in some stupid way. Like they're going to lose to Memphis and Notre Dame, but then they're going to go 4-4 in conference. Something dumb like that. Yeah. Either.
Do you have a lock for tomorrow? Whether it's Arkansas, any game tomorrow, any spread, anything, any lock tomorrow for college football.
We're covering.
Arkansas's covering. What is it? 42 and a half.
I got put up for BetSaracen. Let's see. I think it's been moving a little bit here too, but let's see where'd it go.
Hey,
46 and a half or 46.
Oh, so it's been moving a good bit. You didn't open at like 38 and a half.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What'd you say? Is that?
That's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Well, hold on a second.
That's why I pulled it up again. I was like, all right.
I know, but I didn't know that was his girlfriend. I thought it was just a fan of yours.
Well, now we do.
Okay. Yeah. So wait a minute. Hold on. Because I feel like I gave her tickets one time, didn't I?
Yes, this is true.
There we go.
Were you with her when I did?
Probably. Yeah.
That's how they met.
You're welcome, Cameron. Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. That was blowing my mind. I'm sorry, Cameron. I did not know you were spoken for.
It's because you don't read the private chat. That's why you didn't know
This is true.
I got to get used to. I got to get better at that.
If she wasn't already your girlfriend, we were going to make that a thing because if that was not the case already, it's like, okay, we got a super fan over here.
We did just have someone
to make this happen.
It's just like, oh, Cameron.
I'm about to say, I was like, wow, we don't even get girls in our chat saying like, oh, I love this guy. It's just like all of a sudden Cameron's here for top 5 seconds and he starts getting.
I didn't even show my face yet.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, kill. Okay, so now it's all coming together now. Okay.
I remember one time we were doing a stream at Leroy last year, and there was a girl named Lauren that popped in the chat and just said, "Hey, Andrew," and I remember being like, what the hell? But it was someone from my hometown that just saw it and was like, oh, let me comment or whatever. But I remember kind of thinking, I was like, the hell is that? But I probably in the moment I probably should have played it off as just like, oh yeah, I just ran.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, the majority of our demo are the men, and so anytime we have female, which we enjoy and appreciate, but especially if they come in and specifically call one of us out and say, hey, you're like, okay, so what is this?
Yeah,
is this a bot? Is this is this a dare that someone had to deal with?
Who could forget the infamous butternut squash who was just
man
thirsting for Curtis that one stream?
That was wild. Whatever.
You think it was a dude?
I think so.
I mean, well, yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, not in this day and age. I mean, come on.
Maybe just a vegetable.
Online, though, looked like a babe.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've heard from whoever that person is.
We have, speaking of women that watch the show, we have not heard from in a while. Sweet Arkansas gal.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy because
she retired.
She's low-key a football hater, I've noticed.
Oh.
Low-key a football hater, but it's cool.
Okay. Yeah. Because I noticed that she was retiring or whatever, so I thought maybe she retired. And it was
right
like,
around
all right.
now, right?
Yeah, but she said even then, she's like, oh, I'll be able to watch you guys all the time, even more. And man, so I guess, hey, listen, maybe they got some problems over there in, what is it, Batesville, right?
Yeah,
she was from Batesville? Mm-hmm. Yeah, where the fighting Mark Martins and Gage Woods are always out hanging out.
By the way, speaking of in-state radio, I meant to bring this up earlier. Are we going to talk about the Peyton Holt thing?
I mean, you're a baseball guy, so
I'll talk about the Peyton Holt thing, and I'll say this: they lied on him. They're
out to get him.
Cheated. He didn't cheat. They cheated him. He would never put a substance in his body that is not good for it.
Yeah.
Ever. Peyton Holt, hero.
Hashtag free Holt.
Free him. Free Holt.
Mm. Yeah.
To have his big league career ripped from him like that over some garbage is it's
egregious.
Asinine, dude. It's asinine.
It really reminds me of the Bobby Portis situation.
Yep.
Just got the names of something mixed up and oops,
Yeah. Someone peed in the wrong cup, and now Peyton Holt had his career ripped from him because of that.
I mean, who among us? Who among us? So
by the way, Monday at school, everyone free. Yeah, at 12:30. Free Peyton Holt walkout at the public schools in Fayetteville.
We're about to get a phone call, like superintendent. So is he related to Caleb Holt, who's going to be visiting?
I think so.
Yeah.
Caleb Holt is visiting. Yeah,
he's famously from Greenwood, Arkansas. Caleb Holt,
distant cousin.
There's a lot of Holt going on in Arkansas right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, because who's the other Holt that I'm missing? What's the other Holt? I know that there's been a
Bob.
Holt. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, just Bob. Yes, Bob. Yes. Rest in peace, Bob. Yeah, we love you. We miss you. So, but
another Holt.
Yeah, I thought there was like some player that was a football player that was a Holt, but I don't know. Again, I could be completely wrong. Could be making it up because you know how great I am with names. So, either way.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, this has been awesome. Hanging out at Alumni Hall once again. It feels good. It's game day eve. And but it's steady traffic in here today. And folks, if you couldn't get out here to see us, that's okay because they're staying open. They're not going to close as soon as we leave. So come on out here at 3417 North College Avenue. And if you can't get into store, shop them online, InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use that promo code HOGS20. But we really appreciate them, appreciate their partnership, and honest to be back out. And again, we will be back here the Friday before the Notre Dame game. So I don't know exactly the dates, but that just whenever Notre Dame is, that Friday before, we will be back here from 12 to 2. So, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out here for the day from Alumni Hall?
Woo pig.
Woo pig. See you tomorrow morning. Pull up with us. Lee Corso's putting on the headset one last time. Not the biggest thing that's happening tomorrow morning.
That's right.
And we will see you at 9 a.m. sharp. Get your donuts, get your mimosas, and be ready to enjoy the pregame show with us.
That's right. Inside Arkansas football content, pregame show, postgame show happening tomorrow. And what you, Cameron? Any final thoughts?
Woo pig.
Woo pig.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Appreciate each and every one of you listening and watching in to us here at Inside Arkansas. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. You can also check out all of our audio podcasts wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, the Inside Arkansas Football Show, as well as our new Inside Arkansas Recruiting Show with Dudley Dawson, which launches technically on Tuesday because it's Labor Day. I want to make sure I get that right. So, but looking forward to him talking about all things football recruiting here with us at Inside Arkansas. And that'll do it for us here today at Alumni Hall. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel, Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, for Inside Arkansas pregame show.